Well, we're waiting for the appearance of the Eagles. They will be out on the ground in a moment. We'll have these messages and then start to tell you and bring to you the big game of the day. People at Subiaco Oval this afternoon, and that big roar brings about the Eagles coming out onto the ground. St Kilda already out, and they're doing their preliminaries on the far side of the ground. The ground in perfect condition, and we're looking forward to a terrific game of football, and there is a terrific atmosphere here this afternoon. Well, joining me in the commentary box for the benefit of our 3AW listeners, we have Percy Johnson, who's well known over there, and also former Victorian star, but we've nearly made him a sandgroper, Marty McDonald.
Good afternoon, Frank, and good afternoon, listeners in Victoria.
Well, I just noticed over there's people over in the top of the MU Export sign over there, Percy. There's a heap of them on the roof over here of the one of the
and there's a couple of coppers up there
to push him off. Everybody's going.
That's football violence. The police are pushing them off the roof.
Yeah, they're hanging off the rafters today, aren't they?
I tell you what, it's fantastic. The day's beautiful. The weather's fantastic. The sun's out and shining, and
what an atmosphere!
And the atmosphere is unbelievable. It really is, and I'm truly looking forward to this game. And it's not only Lockett Sumich to me; it's all over the ground, Frank.
Yeah, it certainly is.
They've got a mascot out there running with the Eagles. They've got an extra little rug. I've never seen that happen before. But you know, it's all over the ground. We're looking forward to seeing Lowe because we respect his marking ability. It's fantastic stuff. Nicky Winmar, we love him over here because he's back. He's back where he originally started. He's such a brilliant footballer, and his control through the midfield will have to be used to counter Lewis, and it's building to a tremendous game.
See Brian Wilson out there, Frank. He's not too popular from the West, is he?
No, well, he's never was popular when he played with Melbourne over here. It might be a bit different now he's playing with St Kilda, and it's good to see, even from a Western Australian point of view, and it's not being parochial, but to see the success that guys are having in Victorian football, particularly Paul Harding, who played a lot of football in Western Australia here with East Fremantle, and now is a real permanent member of the St Kilda team. And you've got to give full credit to St Kilda, Percy. They've worked on putting a good team together over a few years, and they've gradually built it up. And the fellas that came in quite a few years ago have matured into good top-line footballers. They've recruited quite well, and they're a real force in the competition now.
Oh, yes, they've done remarkably well. I think when you've got goal-to-goal sort of balance like Danny Frawley's given them stability in that area by being a full-back, then I'm a great believer that if you've got one stable full-back, it's a bloke that's bringing the ball into play all the time. Your back line gradually builds around it. Confidence seems to come, and Grant apparently has developed into an extremely good player. They picked up Morris, who, of course, is a very, is an experienced. Good, solid, experienced footballer. So they've stabilised their defence. They've got Lowe and they've got Lockett at the two key forward positions. No bigger men exist in the game, and they only have to run and add a running department to that, and apparently Craven gives them that. He's only a rabbit, Craven. He certainly didn't get into the habit of growing when he was young, did he?
But he's got skill, I can tell you that.
Well, I haven't seen a lot of him, but I have noticed in the paper that he reflects in their best quite frequently. So, and they picked up Newport, of course, and Wilson from Melbourne, and Newport was a good player to my mind. He was considered one of the tag specialists in the VFL when he was playing with Melbourne. So, no, they built up, and that's tremendous because St Kilda for too long weren't competitive.
No, well, the umpires are out in the ground, and the Eagles down the Princess Margaret Hospital end of the ground, as we call it here in Western Australia, and St Kilda at the Subiaco end of the ground, and they're doing their preliminaries and their warm-up, and I can say that the atmosphere is electric out here at the present moment, and I think when they bounce the ball for the first time, it's going to be one continual roar. So the umpires, they don't seem to be getting keen to get on with the business at the present moment. So I think one of the interesting things in this game of football today is going to be the Eagles, as far as Irving is concerned, in the centre bounce downs, because he well and truly had to lower his colours to Carlton's Madden last week, and the Eagles have a little bit of a problem there, and winning the ball out of the centre is an essential factor. But with Lewis back in the side today, that should give them more balance, Percy, around the centre of the ground and in the running department.
Still going to miss Johnny Worsfold, but don't worry about that. He puts the shutters up a little bit around the place, Johnny Worsfold, and he answers challenges, and I do believe that he is a dramatic loss to this side. As a matter of fact, when you look at that defence without John Worsfold, it at times
looks a bit brittle.
Takes flimsy too, Marty, and physical attributes.
Yeah, but the big thing is he puts fear into the opposition too. There's no real gorillas out there without him. I reckon he gives confidence to the other players, and he was a good player.
And he makes the opposition think I could be on the receiving end if I was sitting under something, and I think that's important. I mean, a lot of people think that that's not important in footy, but I believe that players like Worsfold make your weaker players, and every side has fringe-type players, makes your fringe-type players stronger, but it makes the opposition fringe-type players weaker. And you miss that sort of play, and that's where the Eagles will miss out if Johnny Worsfold doesn't get back shortly, and that will probably where St Kilda may wear them a little bit physically. And Turley's doing a good job, not in that sense, but what about Ashley McIntosh? What's your rating on him? I know over there Shane Healy, who of course calls for us through 3AW, he's raved about Ashley McIntosh, but I don't reckon he's stayed in a game long enough or been a big enough influence for long enough in games. I'm not quite sure he's ready. What are your thoughts to be a full game contributor?
Well, go on,
Marty. Go.
I feel his long-range future, he's going to be a champion footballer, real top player. He's an athlete, he can jump, he can run, he can do everything. But he hasn't, as you said, contributed for the full 120 minutes. But I think it's the useful side of his approach to the game, Perth. But he's going to be an enormous attribute to this side, whether in defence or attack.
Well, it might be the way they're sort of nursing him into the big time. I don't think he's been able to play through a full quarter of football, a full 4 quarters of football. He gets taken on and off the ground. Yeah. But I'll tell you what,
I personally reckon that, we've got blokes at the moment, I know they've had their chances, but he's in hot form at the moment in defence, and that's Todd Breeman.
Oh.
And I reckon that when a man's climbing over the walls and he's almost walking on water, he's that confident. We saw that in the state game. I reckon, and he's a more experienced footballer, and they've got to win this game, because they win this game, it's a shutout.
Right.
They're going to finish on top. They finish on top, we've got a final here in Perth, and that is important for football in this particular state, and that means important for football Australia-wide, because you can see the 43,000 here today.
Oh, yes.
The Eagles have buzzed football alive in this town.
Certainly, they have.
And they've got to keep taking the steps.
Well, you're listening to Football on 6PR and 3AW, and just repeating for you, or just telling you now that Danny Frawley of St Kilda won the toss and elected to go towards the Subiaco end here at league headquarters, and having a quick look around, it would appear to me that
Newport and Harding going off for St Kilda. So Kitschke's going to start as a knock ruckman, is he?
And Materia looks like starting in the forward pocket for the Eagles. That's an interesting one. And
that'll be a blind that'll last about 7 seconds.
Langdon playing at centre half forward, and McIntosh playing on a half forward flank. Centre half back is Jakovic, as we thought would happen, and at full back on Lockett will be Brenner.
Who's Matera playing on down there, Frank?
It looks like he's going to be playing on...
That's Cummings, Steve Cummings. I don't know a lot about him. Is he quick enough for Matera?
Well, we'll soon find out. OK, just repeating, St Kilda won the toss. Big crowd really comes to life now. Big roar around the ground, and the ball about to be bounced in the game of the day, which is going to be a real gem. Big fella Irving going to be opposed there by Kritsky. Up they go. Irving gets the tap straight down to Lamb. Put under or Turley. Put under pressure, but the ball rolls free over towards Wilson. Into an open forward line. Out charges Sumich. Knocks on very cleverly to McIntosh, drops onto the right boot, in towards an open goal, racing in for possession there was Cummings, but the ball beats him through for the minor score only. So the Eagles into attack very early in this game, have the first score on the FAI Insurance scoreboard. 1 point, St Kilda are yet to score.
And Morris to bring the ball back into play, that's an interesting innovation. Where is Danny Frawley as we wait on Morris to bring the ball back into play? He's gone out to left half back, he's looked out in the direction of Rice. Rice waited for the ball, it'll swoop towards the line. He's capable of coming inside a tackle, goes over the top to Nicky Winmar, could be met front on, in goes Craven for support. Dean Irving shovels the ball through the pack. Lewis an opportunity to knock over to Turley, comes to McIntosh, Bean and everything goes to Lewis, too slow, tackle by Nicky Winmar superbly at right half forward. Strong play by Jeffrey, slugs a foot for the ball, Turley's pinching off his boot, screws back over the left shoulder with the right boot, deep in the right forward pocket, too deep, over the line and out of bounds. Left back pocket for St Kilda. Eagles 1 point, St Kilda yet to score. Morris gets another kick.
Yes, and I tell you what, there's plenty of pressure being applied already. So Morris, looking downfield, is going to go around the outer side of the ground. A slight breeze blowing towards the Princess Hospital end, but won't have any effect on the game. As going up very high was Grant, couldn't take the mark. The ball to the ground. In dives Lewis. The ball knocked away from his grasp and goes over the line.
Jeffrey's hurt, Frank.
Right, so we'll see what happens. We'll keep our eye on that as we wait for the ball to be thrown in. just between the right centre wing and right half forward flank as Christie goes up. Oh, gee, that was a good use of the body. Knocks it out over very quickly towards Jeffrey. The ball rolling free, however, has been picked up by Lamb, who goes onto the left boot. Sumich sets. Frawley down right, breathing down his neck as Sumich tries to gain possession. Ball close to the boundary line. It's not cleverly to Langdon. Langdon swoops onto the left boot. He goes up towards the tall timbers. Chance for Heady. Brings it to ground beautifully. Matera cuts in. Goes onto the left boot. Snaps it high into the air and brings up the first major of the day. On the FAI Insurance scoreboard, the Eagles are 1-1. St Kilda are yet to score.
Well, I know the Eagles desperate. Showing some real speed to the ball and desperation. They didn't help each other beautifully there. But tapped it over to Matera, and like a flash he was on it and kicked it through the goal.
Does that answer the question already? We asked. Is Cummings too slow for Matera? Matera did it well. He took his man away and then ran back to play, and he is a speedster. It's well, at this moment it's a good tactic, but we're only 3 minutes in and tactics can change to be fatal as the game progresses. We wait on this to see. Lamb's got Craven as we wait on the throw. And Kitchke, gee, went for the thump. Irving took his eyes off the ball. A chance for low. He couldn't pick it up. Lewis can. Screws with the left boot. Quickly looks for Turley. Got the fit of skids. Knocked on brilliantly by Wilson for the run of Mainwaring. He's on the left centre wing, grandstand side of the ground. Screws in well to bring the ball back centrally. Run over on this occasion. A chance for Langdon. A chance for Heady. He's only 35 out directly in front. And he bangs it in. The Eagles are 2-1 on the FAI Insurance scoreboard. St Kilda yet to score.
Well, Marty, that was good football on the part of Wilson there. Good presence, tapping it out, wasn't it?
And you notice the ineffectiveness of Russell Morris when he didn't go to the ground to try and cut that ball off. And certainly the Eagles capitalised on that and didn't make any mistakes at all. Their ball handling is crisp and clear.
I thought it was very good too from Heady's point of view there when coming in to look like going to be in the play as well was Langdon, and a St Kilda player came in, knocked Langdon over, and Heady was a little bit impeded, but he just balanced himself well to bring up that 6-pointer. So we wait on the ball to come be bounced down now as Lamb watching very closely. Irving goes away to tap down. Kemper's playing on the wing on Winmar as he gains possession and spins onto the right boot in towards centre half forward. The ball to the ground. Gee, in went Grant. He was sunk for his trouble, but Cumming mopped up the crumbs for St Kilda. Goes wide towards the right centre wing. Oh, a chance there. McKenna's grabbed by McAdam, and McKenna must get the free kick. So far in this game, the Eagles winning a race to the ball. So we see now as Sumich comes on a long lead. Gee, there's nobody gone into the square. Langdon's led. McKenna's a bit understanding what to do. He's just holding onto the ball. So what will he do? He'll kick it to an open space. Sumich is set. Oh, Frawley went in. Umpire called play on. The ball to the ground. In goes McAdam. Also McKenna. The ball on the deck. Umpire called on very quickly indeed to blow the whistle. A bounce down to take place on the Eagles' left half forward flank on the grandstand side of the ground.
Looks like Sumich has got earned kicks.
Yep, 2-1. Yeah, right. 2-1 to no score on the FAI Insurance scoreboard as we wait now on Kitchke to do the work. Wilson goes up for the Eagles, knocks the ball away. A chance for Morris. Uses the ball and body well to gain possession and drive towards the right centre wing where Lowe sets. Oh, good mark. Back up by McAdam. They've got possession. They draw Kemp. Winmar goes down the centre. The lead is on from Lockett. Good football, St Kilda. And Lockett takes the mark on his chest.
And Lockett's got him.
Right, so we'll see what happens now. He's going down into the forward area. Pike knocks away over towards McKenna under pressure. Forward to hand pass to Pike. He's put under pressure very quickly by McAdam. Oh, down they go like 9 pins. Lockett in. Hand passes quickly over towards a teammate in Coughlin. Up towards full forward. A 1-out duel now between Irving and Wilson. Wilson should have the pace, should have the ticks. Can't gain possession. The ball comes to ground and the Eagles back up well. Lewis gains possession, fires a hand pass to Waterman. He's in trouble but weaves well out of trouble. Tries the hand pass further downfield and it's been caught. Caught holding the ball, tries to do too much, and the kick will be taken by Coughlin.
Rice, I think it is, brings it in centrally to Kitchke. Kitchke's marked at the 50-metre mark, virtually directly in front. He'll kick in from 55. I think Rice's going to tag Lewis from what I see out there very early. We wait on the big fella. Kitchke's going to look. He's looking for something to develop down there. I said they got Davenport in that forward pocket. Memories of last year at the Wacker when he got 5 in the early part of the game. He's obviously there as the swooper. We wait on the big fella, Kitchke. He's a big man, this fella. He set it up high, wide, and hands will fall short. Where's Lockett? He's opposed to Lockyer into the air. Oh, Dean Irving did it well. Thumped the ground level. Lewis taps over very quickly to Waterman. Waterman can run on the ball. This time he's got rid of it hurriedly out with a long hand pass. Looks for Turley, right half back. Turley's speed is excellent. He goes in very quickly with the hand pass. Set up play with this chain of hand passes to Kemp. Kemp bullet-like up to Langdon. Follows up Kemp. Runs on, gets ball back. Goes out wide with a hand pass. Over on that right centre wing is Mainwaring when he plays on left centre wing. Gets it down to right half forward. forward, picked up by the lively Matera, penetrates to Heady. Heady faces him, bangs it. 2 goals to Heady, 3 goals to the Eagles on the FAI Insurance scoreboard. They're 3-1. St Kilda yet to score.
Marty, champagne stuff out of the back line.
Speed, capital S, right from the back line. They backed each other up beautifully to this, finally to end up with the 2 speedsters and Heady and Matera. Beautiful exhibition of football. That wasn't the disposal magnificent.
It was. That kick of Kemp's down to Langdon, you couldn't get better than that. By gee, that was excellent. And it's real good stuff. And the crowd, they're ecstatic at the present moment the way the Eagles are playing, but don't write St Kilda off. They played into their forward line with good stuff, and Lockett possibly could have got the ball up into the forward areas. Kitschke goes up, knocks down. There's a chance there very quickly for Harvey under pressure. Kemp comes out with possession for the Eagles. Lewis runs into a brick wall, is dispossessed. Winmar a chance, goes on with the business. Beautiful ball handling, gains possession very quickly over to Coughlin. Coughlin out wide, out towards a teammate out there in a player in Burke. Burke up towards the right full forward pocket. Oh dear, in we go. Lockett, and it looks like you get mixed up together. Over the boundary line they go, and so does the ball.
Lockett's pace was questionable when he came out on that lead, you know, when the ball was away from him on this big ground.
OK, we'll wait for the ball to come into play. Right full forward pocket for St Kilda. Up they go, knocked away very strongly by Wilson and Irving. They get the ball further downfield. McAdams got a chance. Hand passes very quickly over towards a teammate and Harvey. They give it quickly over towards a little fella there in Craven. Onto the left boot he goes and registers St Kilda's first claw, and they come back very strongly. FAI Insurance scoreboard, the Eagles are 3-1, St Kilda are 1 straight, and Cummings very accurate indeed.
Yes, but it's a good little bit of work by little Craven. Then he sized it up beautifully with his left foot, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was good play by Harvey to get the ball through to him, you know. I mean, he worked down. It was good ruck play to bring the ball out to open the goals from that boundary throw, and I thought they did that.
You made a point, Percy, about Lockett having to run the 40 or 50 metres.
Yeah.
He didn't like it.
No, he didn't. He really was struggling. Looks like hamstring stuff if he's got a push like that. Right on the throw down again. Irving and Kitschke. Irving into the air. Clever tap through, but all picked up very quickly by Morris. A wild hand pass. Could end up with Dickie Winmar. Robbed by Kemp. In goes Langdon for support. The ball spills to Kemp again. He's beset upon by Craven. Spills out to Dwayne Lamb. Hurriedly onto the left boot. It's still in the middle of the ground. An opportunity now for Burke to run onto the ball. He's beset upon and pushed off the ball. Good play. McKenna's allowed Turley to run onto the ball. Bounces once on left centre wing. He goes with a little wobbly one down the left half forward where he finds the lively, speedy Heady. He's driving, peaking mad at this stage. Bullet-like drop punt down to the leader, Sumich. Oh, Danny Frawley put him off mark and took the ball from behind. Well marked, Danny Frawley, well read. Big Danny Frawley, captain of St Kilda, pops onto Grant. I like the look of this fella too. He's at right half back grandstand side, runs away from Wilson and kicks to the centre of the ground. Coming on the lead is low, got speed, good speed, dropped onto the ball. He's up on the right centre wing, more towards the centre than that. It's kicked out to the lead. An opportunity here. Davenport doesn't go. Oh, brilliant mark over the top of the pack by Michael Brennan. Floated like a bird, and a brilliant capture to this fella over the top on that occasion, over the top of Burke. And who else was the other fella? Brian Wilson. He'll blitz that fella, Brian Wilson. Brennan, he's suited to that sort of play. Kicks up towards the middle of the ground. Into the air on this occasion. A chance for Jeffrey. Can't take the mark. Hand passes out to Craven. Cravens can't get the run of the ball. Working through strongly and very strongly on this occasion is young Jakovic. He did it well. Gave the hand pass to Speed. That's Matera. Speed twice. He's bounced it. He's a left half forward. Uses the left footer into Heady. They love each other. Heady's marked at 20 out directly in front. Speed galore, and why not use it, Jakovic? You did it well, son, as you gave it to Speed and allowed the Speed to run with the ball.
Ken Sheldon has got to do something about peaking. Heady's chopping him to ribbons.
Well, that's all he's doing. He's peeking at his back. He's not getting in front of him at all. Gee whiz.
Absolutely blitzing him with sheer speed.
Yeah, but it was a lovely use of the ball too, wasn't it? Yeah, left foot, you know, he used that.
Either foot.
Left foot, Peter Matera, and that's been a top mover. And he's not playing in the forward pocket, although he is. He's playing it up towards the half-forward line, so he's got space to run back into Matera. Brad Eddy will kick his third, won't he, Frank?
Yep.
My book says he's third.
That's right, Percy.
We wait on this one. They're already 3-1, the Eagles. Now they're 4-1 on the FAI Insurance scoreboard. St Kilda 1 goal straight.
Yes, a good exhibition of play on football then, as I said. Worth repeating, the speed of Heady with 3 goals on the board in the first 10 minutes speaks for itself.
Well, I think the big thing about this that Heady, he can get over the ground very quickly, but he's taking his opponent up the ground and running off him. And, of course, he's giving the players bringing the ball down something to target, and they're doing it very, very effectively. So we'll see whether there's any moves going to be made, because Matera is being damaging, and so is Brett Heady. So these two players in Pekin and also Cummings know that they've got their work cut out this afternoon, as Irving's now going to be taken on by Kitchke. Irving gets the tap away. There's a chance for Harvey. Tackles strongly, but gets a hand pass to Winmar. Winmar comes back onto the right boot and then drives towards the left half forward flank. But Brennan is out in front of Wilson and takes the mark on his chest. Well, no-nonsense footballer Brennan looks downfield. Langdon is loose. G's come down the ground a long way. Langdon, as he goes onto the left boot, up towards his marksman Morris, who waited for the ball to come to him. Luckily, it bounced the right way. Into centre half forward they go. But the defence of the Eagles stands firm as Waterman takes the mark.
Good mark, too.
Yep, Waterman now looks into the centre of the ground. Big fellow Irving, not watched closely by Kitchke. Irving gets in a short kick up towards centre half forward. There's a chance for Cummings. Tries a hand pass over towards a teammate there. It looks like in Grant, but he's robbed of the ball. In flashes Matera. He steadies. He kicks. And the ball is offline for 1 point only. So on the FAI insurance scoreboard, the Eagles are 4-2. St Kilda 1 goal straight as we wait on the ball to come into play. And football this afternoon coming your way through 6PR and 3AW as Danny Frawley about to get the ball and to bring it back in. So they're moving the ball very well from their half-forward line, Percy Eagles.
Yes, brought to you for Synovus Vitamins too, this football, Frank, and they are, it looks like they're charged with their vitamins today as Danny Frawley goes out towards left half-back. Dean Irving taps to the ground. Nicky Winmar runs onto that, quickly onto Booton with depth up towards the left centre wing. Waterman going back, can't mark. In goes Coughlin. Can he set up play? Plenty of pressure over the ball on that occasion. Looks to me like Coughlin, left centre wing, scoreboard side of the ground. They're going up to the three-tiered grandstand end of the ground, and Coughlin to take the kick for St Kilda. We wait on Coughlin. I see Newport just coming onto the ground. He's taken Cummings' place. He's had trouble with Hetty. They've gone down to the leader, Lockett, leading him out as Lockyer. Well, Lockett put him off the ball, put it on the left boot, on the right boot, got it down. Pike a chance opposed to Davenport. Did it well, Pike. You've done it well from the left back pocket. Kicks out towards the left centre wing. Here's Turley's speed. The ball eludes him. A chance for Harvey to go in and take possession. He can't do so. Turley's in again. Goes to win to Matera again. Matera on the left centre wing goes up, but Jeffrey intercepts that one. Did it well. A free kick behind the play, or a kick where the ball lands, is it?
Yep.
Obviously Mainwaring to take the kick just back with a left half forward. What's Mainwaring doing? He's going to make McIntosh take the kick, is he? It looks like McIntosh must take the kick closest man. So that fiddled the ball around and stopped play a little bit, but the Eagles will still have pace. Plenty of space for Sumich to come in. Danny Frawley did that well, put him off the ball. An opportunity now for the Eagles through the agency of Wilson, but the free kick is behind play. Yep. Obvious free kick, and should be 50, and it looks like Morris to take the free kick of the benefit of 50, and that'll take the St Kilda side. When the Eagles look like goalie, it'll take them right up to the middle of the ground to relieve that pressure.
I think it was close to the borderline with Frawley, though, but he's inclined to push out.
I reckon you can keep moving your man.
Body. There was no hand.
He used
his chest into him. Yeah.
But Marty used to do that all the time. Anyway, Morris has kicked the ball deep up towards half forward. Lowe's under the ball, floating in from the side on that occasion. Looks like a great mark to Kitchke. Gee, floated across. I love those marks when a man floats across the face. Lowe decked the pack. His body decked the pack, which gave a flyer across the face the chance to mark, and Kitchke did it.
And I noticed that Lockett signalled to kick it long, Percy.
Well, from 48, he'll kick from 48. That's where he knows. He's kicked from exactly 50.
And missed.
He's kicked the distance, but not the accuracy. It looks like too wide, far too wide, out of bounds on the full. The crowd will tell you that. They're not giving St Kilda much hurrah, I can tell you that. FAI Eagles 4-2, St Kilda 1 goal straight.
So, no, well, the ball went out of bounds on the full. So we'll see what happens now. Being brought back into play by Lockyer. He comes towards the left half-back flank on the ground. Oh! Beautiful mark. Climbed into the air over the top of Irving, sat on his shoulders and took a gem. He's looked for the leader, Lockett. Lockett set. Up went Lockyer into the side of the pack. The ball to the ground. Lockyer recovers well to gain possession and drives it into an open space wide towards the right half-back flank on the outer side of the ground as McKenna charges down, gains possession with a beautiful one-handed pick-up. Langdon will accommodate him, but spills the mark. Jeffrey ran in and overran the ball, allowed McIntosh to knock it on. He's complimented, however, by a teammate out there paying possession now is Morris. Morris onto the right boot, back to the centre of the ground, but Mainwaring is there. He takes the mark. Interfered with as well by Kitchby, but the rack-up is on quickly by Waterman. Hand pass that way, heading into an open space. I tell you what, he's lost Pekin. Pekin doesn't know where he is on the Subiaco Oval, and Hetty has taken the mark 45 metres out, directly in front.
Waterman's a lovely kick.
Oh, yeah, disposes of the ball. Rarely wasted kick, rarely wasted a hand pass. Is one of those guys that just plays real percentage football all the time. So we'll see whether Brett Hetty can bag his fourth for the day, and we've been playing about 15 and a half minutes in this first quarter of play. Brett Hetty from about 45 out. comes in towards the Princess Margaret Hospital end of the ground. Very, very little breeze. He kicks. The goal umpire does not move, waits for the all clear, and the Eagles have bagged their 5th for the day. They move on the FAI insurance scoreboard to 5-2. St Kilda are 1 straight.
Well, it's heady mania at this time. We've been going for about 16 minutes and he's got 4 goals on the board. He's absolutely, as Frank said, blitzing Tim Pekin, getting away from him easily, but due to the fact the sensible disposal and the beautiful accuracy of the Eagles players further upfield.
Percy Pace is starting to rear its head, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I always thought that would be the difference in the sides. I thought the Eagles would win by 7 goals. I really did believe that, and I didn't think that St Kilda on this ground, different in Melbourne under different conditions. Kitschke into the air again, but Irving wins the tap away. Goes in the direction of Kemp. He uses the hands very quickly, but the ball spills again. Opportunity for Newport to work in over the ball. He can't do so. Eventually it's been picked up by Craven. Screws hurriedly back to the middle of the ground, and Mainwaring again sets up the brick wall in the middle. Forced to kick with the left boot. Goes down towards the heady direction. He's come through the pack. Grant intercepts that one on that occasion. A chance for Burke, a chance for Jeffrey. Jeffrey under pressure, kicks across the face of goals. Turley can run onto it in the left forward pocket. Casually puts it onto the left boot. Squeezes it, screws it, but not accurately enough on this occasion. 5-3 on the FAI insurance scoreboard. The Eagles, St Kilda 1 goal, 6 points only. So they trail, 26 points, Frank?
Yes, at this stage, 27. And the trouble with it is that the St Kilda defence under a great deal of pressure. And here comes the move again when Frawley goes to set a half back and Morris will kick the ball into play. So he's looking for leads, and there's not a great deal offering. He goes towards the tall timber on the left half-back flank where Kitschke got into position. Oh, must get a kick. He didn't take the mark, but got pushed fair in the middle of the back by Irving, and the free kick will go the way of the St Kilda ruckman. So he's on the left half-back flank on the outer side of the ground. Downfield, not many leads offering. Lowe comes down towards that left centre wing, and that's the way the ball's going to go as Lowe sets. Djakovic punches away very, very well in defence, knocks the ball a long distance, and it goes out of bounds on the Eagles' right half forward flank, outer side of the ground. So the big fella's getting set again. McIntosh is going to do the ruck work now against Kitschke. He comes in. He gets the front berth, Kitschke. Over the top of the pack, however, went Wilson. That's not a bad move. The ball rolls free. Winmar, beautiful blind turn out of a pack. Hand passes very quickly and gets the ball back again as he gets it down very quickly up towards the left half forward flank. Oh, it comes off hands. Wilson's got the run of the ball. Closes from 45 metres out. He's steady. He's kicked and he's bagged St Kilda's 2nd goal for the day. Well, the rebound came very quickly from St Kilda when they got the ball into their forward line and have booted their 2nd goal from the boot of Brian Wilson. The FAI insurance scoreboard, the Eagles are 5-3 and St Kilda moved to 2 goals straight.
They needed that. There's still 3 goals, 3 in arrears, and Wilson's his first touch. He's been pulled apart down there, but he certainly went on with it and kicked accurately. He was steadied himself beautifully. Goal on the board.
The big fella's rucking well. Kitschke playing well in defence and across the centre.
And Harvey was in the move out of that pack. Like, he likes to burrow in, Harvey. He's a pretty strong player in the tight contest, and it was the hand pass out that sort of created that movement. So we wait on the throwdown again. Irving and Kitschke. Irving's won the palm again on this one. Langdon can't do much. In goes Kemp. The ball comes to Newport. He's gone in strongly. So is Craven. Still milling in the centre of the ground. Eventually it spills to Dwayne Lamb, and he kicks out hurriedly towards right half forward. It spills. Pekin's left heady again, and he's going to kick 5 in the quarter. The Eagles have got 6-3 on the FAI insurance scoreboard. St Kilda are 2 goals.
Marty, it's very hard to understand why Sheldon would leave Pekin on heady for so long.
It is incredible. But at the same stage, on that occasion, Pekin did lead up to the ball, and the ball was split over the top, and Heady, with his enormous pace, made Pekin look slow. And I don't think he is slow, but what a technique he's having. He's got to do something.
Well, a good tactic. This, all the players up and run it to the space so that the speedsters like
use their pace.
Yeah, they can run back to space, and they're going to win the race, aren't they? Because, more ground you cover if you're faster than the other bloke, the more you're going to beat him by.
Well, as we said, Kitschke playing pretty well around the ground, but Irving has beaten him for a lot of the taps in the centre of the ground. We'll see what will happen on this occasion. We've been playing nearly 20 minutes in this first quarter of play, and the big fellas are getting right now as Irving sets. Kitschke got the run. Irving goes up, hangs in the air long enough, gets the ball to the ground, but in goes Craven. Craven had the ball held to him. Crowd said holding the ball.
Langdon's umpiring again.
Yep. Oh, well, he tries to do a lot of things, Carl Langdon, so we'll wait on the ball to be bounced now. Big pack of players around the ball too in the centre of the ground as the big fellas jostle. Kitschke gets the tap. It's knocked away quickly over towards Lewis, who slips over, but a hand passes out to Kemp. One grab Merchant, backed up well by Mainwaring. Or the kick is smothered by Winmar. Gathers the ball in beautifully. 50 metres out. Looks for a leading player. Lockett's not there. Lockett came across the behind Lockyer on that occasion, and the ball beat both players out of bounds.
The further they run, the further he'll get behind, I can tell you that, Frank. He's always struggled here at Subi.
Righto, about 25 metres around from the right-hand behind post at the Subiaco end as the ball into play. Up they go. Djakovic does the work and does it well, but Newport's got a chance to come on and gain possession. Can't do it, and the ball's out of bounds once again. So the ball locked in the St Kilda forward line at the present moment, as coming on now to do the ruck work will be Lowe, and he'll be opposed by Djakovic, who gets front berth, but Lowe comes in. Djakovic taps away, however, does it well to Mainwaring, goes onto the left boot, but Kitschke's a kick behind the play, and the big fella takes on Turley, comes across and takes the safe mark. So double banking across the centre. What's he going to do? There's leads on now. Lowe goes, so does Lockett. Well, Lockett is going to go for it, so is Lowe. The big pack, that's bad football in the forward area, but the crumbs go to McAdam. Oh, he's swooped on by McKenna. That's good tight football and defence by the Eagles. They've worked it away to Brennan. The backup is on quickly by Lewis, and the big pack that flew there was bad football by St Kilda, and the Eagles rebound towards their right half forward flank with a long mark, or long kick has been taken, and the mark has been taken by McIntosh. Onto the left boot. Across they go towards centre half forward. In front was Wilson. He's taken the mark in front of his immediate opponent, Grant, and the Eagles have possession on the 50-metre line.
Yeah, the missed kick landed sweet then, didn't it?
Sure did. Anyway, we'll see now what Wilson can do. The Eagles, Wilson moves in, gets a bit close to the man on the mark, and the ball is going to drop a bit short. Sumich is going to step. Well, he interfered a little bit, I thought, but bumping out of the way, and McIntosh came in unattended and took the mark.
It's good clearance for that man to come through like that. That's good mark by this young bloke. That's 2 marks. He was
he got down into that square pretty quickly from the time that he kicked the ball to Wilson, didn't he?
See, St Kilda defence was Sumich minded.
Yep, that's right.
I forgot that there are other players.
So we'll wait and see what Ashley McIntosh can do now. Shouldn't miss from here. Point blank range, just steadies. He kicks and boots the Eagles a 7th for the quarter, which has been an exhilarating one so far in this game. They move on the FAI insurance scoreboard to 7-3. St Kilda are 2 goals straight. The Eagles kicked the 6-pointer, Marty, but bad football in their forward line, St Kilda there, when Lockett, Lowe and about 2 others went up in a big pack.
Yeah, but didn't the Eagles come out of the back line beautifully?
Oh, the good tackle by McKenna.
Wonderful performance. Yeah, great performance by McIntosh to kick the ball, pass it to someone and go back and take the big screamer.
And numbers around the ball over in that right half-back flank over there. You know, I mean, I did think Lockett erred in coming up to compete with Lowe in the overhead situations too. I think I thought that was a mistake in forward pattern, but great tackling by McKenna and then good numbers. The throw down again. Kitschke can't win the knockout again. It's Irving. Turley decides to soccer. Looks for space, but Grant intercepts. Goes quickly to Nicky Wenmar, who's done tremendous on that left centre wing. Draws and goes to Newport. They're still on the left centre wing. Newport kicks down to half forward. He overkicks his man, and young Glenn Djakovic reading the ball well.
He's doing well, personally.
I like this boy. Absolute rap for this young man at centre back. Kicks out deep. He kicks deep towards right centre wing. Opportunity for Kitschke. Drops what he should have taken. Went back well. Gained possession. An overlap now, and Craven runs free on the ball on the left centre wing for St Kilda. Goes back to half forward again. Brennan takes front berth. The thump away by Wilson. A chance on this occasion. Going in strongly is Djakovic again. He does it well as he goes out very quickly to Waterman. Waterman's bullet-like finds Dwayne Lamb on that right centre wing. The left footer comes inboard quickly. Comes down towards left half forward. Great mark, Grant. Intercepting at left half back for the St Kilda side. Takes the mark, plays on quickly. Wilson didn't work hard enough on the mark, so Grant's able to kick up in the Wilson direction. That's Wilson of St Kilda, and Wilson of St Kilda's taken the mark. Feeds off very quickly to Pekin. He must have thought he needed a kick, and he gets one. He goes down with a bullet-like pass towards Davenport in the right half forward flank, and Davenport's taken that mark. They're searching with the ball. Here comes Lowe on the lead. He's got away from Djakovic. Diving mark by Lowe. A brilliant mark by this big, strong lump of a fellow. I thought Djakovic was a bit lumbering behind him.
He got good pace for a big man.
Didn't he make some ground?
He did. Now, where are we going to go? We're going to go to Lockett. There's Lockett on the lead. That's a good one. He's found Lockett. You got no hope when they lead like that, when the pass is like that. A superb mark by big Tony Lockett in the right forward pocket. He didn't have to lead long on that occasion, and he got away a bit too easy, I thought.
Will he kick it first?
Would he kick it? Will he kick it?
Yeah, I reckon he will.
Yeah, well, you two blokes say, well, I might as well say no, he won't. I mean, one of us is going to be right. We want to be right on 6PR when we're taking it back to 3AW, don't we?
Rather than an angle.
Yeah, it's a tight angle, and it's not a good spot to kick from there. We wait on this one, Tony Lockett, but he's kicked a lot of goals in his life, and he hasn't kicked many points. On this occasion, he's kicked a point. There's a point. The crowd told you that. So on the FAI insurance scoreboard, Eagles are 7-3. St Kilda brought up their first point. They're 2 goals, 1.
And you're listening to football on 6PR and 3AW as you wait on the ball to be brought into play now. Very surprisingly, the Eagles started with Hart on the bench, And we're moving into the square now, and taking the kick out is Pike, and he gets good depth too. He goes for the marking power of Irving, but he's knocked away by Kritzky, but backing up very well in defence there was Waterman. Dispossessed, the ball rolls away, and it has gone over the line. We're coming up to now to about the 26-minute mark in this quarter, which has been a great quarter of football. You see the final scores over in Melbourne. Melbourne 26-21 defeated the Sydney Swans 14-10 as the ball into play has been taken away by Turley. The short kick towards the right centre wing. McIntosh overruns the ball. Oh, thumped away by Jeffrey, but the ball lands over towards Waterman. Quick hands get the hand pass over to Lamb. Lamb is able to spin onto the left boot, and he's going to go and look for a leading Langdon. Oh, crikey, Langdon nearly pushed his opponent in the middle of the back. The ball comes to the ground. Coughlin's got a chance. Coming in also is Burke. The ball to the ground, knocked out over towards Matera, but it's good work by Newport. Gets the ball very quickly out over towards a teammate there in Pekin, as Pekin goes up towards centre half forward for St Kilda. But good mark. Irving came across in the back, got into the air well, double banking in that position, and took a real good mark. No nonsense. Kicks the ball with depth towards the centre, but it wasn't a good one. Oh, it's spilled to the ground. The ball rolling free, however, has been picked up by Morris, who drives the ball up towards full forward, but Irving goes into that open space, plays on as Lockett goes to tackle. Hand pass straight to Newport. Newport tries to knock on.
Done,
Irving smothers, kicks the ball off the ground, but it lands onto the ground there, very quickly over towards Harvey. Downfield they go. Morris quickly back to Harvey, comes around now, shrugs one tackle, very quickly goes onto the boot there. There was a player there, however, it was Coughlin who gained possession. Up towards St Kilda's centre half forward, but McKenna in the van. Through goes the hand pass to Jakovic. He draws the player over to McIntosh. Under pressure, gets in a short kick up towards centre half forward. Between centre and centre half forward, and sliding to the ground was Turley to take the mark. Plays on very quickly. Lewis is going downfield. Created the open man. Good open space.
Shepherd was a mile too far off.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a good Shepherd by Hetty, but he interfered with his immediate opponent there in Rice, and the free kick goes the way of the St Kilda player.
He plays on quickly to Newport at left centre wing. He goes with a hand pass to Nicky Winmar on that left centre wing. He's gone up ground, looks for McAdam. Swooping is Craven at ground level. Gee, Dwayne Lamb's playing well as he puts him off the ball. The ball spills free on this occasion. Picked up quickly by McKenna. Back to Dwayne Lamb on the overlap. He's in brilliant form. Dwayne Lamb goes down towards right half forward. Hetty a chance. Oh no, on this occasion Rice, who's now got the assignment, it looks like, sees the ball safely over the line and out of bounds on that right half forward flank for the Eagles side. 7-3 plays 2-1. We're 29 minutes into the first quarter. It's been a blistering first quarter in which Brett Hetty has kicked 5 goals. We bring you this for Australia Post as the throw in. Wilson wins the tap away. Where's Craven? He can't win that ball. Eventually it comes down through the pack again to Morris. Morris sets it out, opens it out wide to Jeffrey. Jeffrey runs through centre half back. He looks for something to develop through McAdam up into the middle of the ground. He finds that player. Elusively he plays on. He's penetrated the left half forward. Looks for the leader, Lockett. He's got the yardage. He's led the race, but he's dropped the mark, but he got one in the back, and Tony Lockett, who admonished the umpire in no uncertain manner last time the ball went down there, looks like he convinced the umpire that the in-the-back decision should go his way. And deep out on that left half forward flank, big Tony Lockett. This is more the right footer's angle, I can tell you that. This is 45 degrees, 45 metres out of goals, and it's in that left half forward flank, so that's the right footer's angle. Tony Lockett should have no trouble bringing up this one for the St Kilda side, but heavens only knows he needs it. I see Wilson off and Paul Harding on.
A bit late in the quarter.
Actually, I think Harding's leap would have been more beneficial than Kitschke at centre bounce downs in my analysis of ruck play. But we wait on the big fella Tony Lockett now. Very calm as he puts it on the boot. He's missed it by a mile. Missed it by a country mile. So here we are on the FAI insurance score, but the Eagles are 7-3, St Kilda are 2-2, and Frank, with 30 minutes in and neither full forward that the story was written about, has kicked the goal.
That's right. So there's still plenty of time left in it. Anyway, we'll see what will happen now. So it's going to be brought into play, the ball by Pike. Into the square he goes and goes out towards the right half-back flank. They're going to set all low. Should be a moral to mark this one, but the big fella Harding got in there and took the mark. Hand passes on. Oh, gee, that's bad football. Look for Craven, but they've got numbers. Craven knocks out over towards Newport, who goes onto the left boot, drives forward of the left half-forward flank. They set the ball to the ground, knocked on very quickly there by Harvey. In went Jakovic. Oh, he got one to go on with by McAdam. He just stuck. He just stopped as if he'd run into a brick wall. The umpire, I think, must have to give him a free kick.
No, he's not gonna.
Is he?
No, he's going to bounce the ball.
Oh. Goodness me. I thought well, that's a rather strange one. Anyway, away it goes. So it's Irving up, but it's Harding or Lowe who taps the ball to the ground. They've got a chance very quickly here through a player out there. Might be Cummings, I think. But in the meantime, it's been brought to the ground and the umpire's going to bounce once again.
Don't they back up in defence, the Eagles? They've got good numbers around that ball, haven't they?
Yeah, plenty of them around there now. So we'll see what will happen as Irving's going to set again. Up he goes. Lowe taps it away and taps it long, but Jakovic is in the right place at the right time. He'll relieve pressure. The kick is not good towards the right half-back flank, but gee, tell you what, that could have been a little bit of interference then, because Turley was grabbing onto his immediate opponent then. Looks like it was Coghlan, but the umpire let the ball go over the line and said throw it in. So up they go. Irving taps away. The ball trapped very strongly there by Coghlan, but gee, McKenna straight into a pack, fed the ball out wide over towards Turley. He's loose on the right centre wing. He's had one bounce, two bounces. He's going to draw Jeffrey, goes for the long hand pass over towards McIntosh, who's didn't have time to go onto his left boot, but backed up well by Turley. When drawn into the play went a player there in Morris. The hand passes on very quickly to Wilson. Wilson kicks to an open space. Across came Pekin, stood his ground with a good mark, works the ball out very quickly over towards Rice, who will drive now towards the centre ground as Winmar comes up and takes a real good mark. She's been a star in the first quarter for St Kilda. Works the ball out very quickly, out wide. A chance there for a player there in Nathan Burke. In the meantime, siren's gone and ends a very, very good first quarter of football. The first quarter scores on the FAI Insurance scoreboard for you. The Eagles 7 goals 3, 45. St Kilda 2 goals 2, 14. First quarter of footy here this afternoon came your way with Emu Export Lager, Synovus Vitamins and Australia Post. Through 6PR and 3AW in Melbourne, and a 31-point advantage to the Eagles at the quarter-time break. 7 goals 3, 45. St Kilda 2 goals 2, 14. The goal scorers for the West Coast Eagles, Brett Hetty has kicked 5, 1 to Peter Matera and 1 to Ashley McIntosh, and for St Kilda, Craven and Brian Wilson, 1 each. And an exhilarating first quarter of footy, Perce.
Well, it was an exhilarating first quarter of footy if you're an Eagles supporter.
No, I'm just talking general. I'm not an Eagles supporter. No, but generally the way the ball was moved around the ground.
Yeah, but it was the Eagles that did the prime moving, and I thought that they made the play. I thought their work from defence was a highlight of the game to me. The way they knitted up there, and Dwayne Lamb's work, he's tagging Craven. Although I thought Craven's played more than usefully, Dwayne Lamb's sort of ability to drop off after he's done his tag and the Eagles get possession, I thought has been instrumental. And of course, it was Hetty's quarter, wasn't it? You know what I mean? We spoke before the game. We were a little bit concerned that he may have been struggling for a patch of form because he struggled a bit last week, but he certainly shook that off. And the way Mick Malthouse has structured his side with Sumich back there in the old Peter Hudson style, left back on his own, and the half forwards up. Well, all of a sudden you could see the point, because Brett Hetty and Peter Matera with blistering pace were able to drop back into that space, and they ran the ball into that space, so they really dummied them. Everybody thought it was going to be Sumich that was going to be the spearhead, but they worked these speedsters across half forward to make their play. Young Ashley McIntosh complemented in conjunction with those players, and so did Peter Wilson, so they had a good running half forward line that was making its own leads but able to run back to its goals. This was complemented by a centre line. Marty, I thought Mainwaring had another very good quarter.
Yes, he certainly did. He was the one that helped the driver to Hetty and Matera and made them open spaces. And don't they utilise the open spaces so well? But it was generated a lot from the backup and the players in the back line and around the balls. That many of them helping each other, complementing each other. They take it out of the back line and they use the ball so beautifully. They don't stop once. They run the second time and the third time to take another hand pass.
Well, I think that was made, Frank, just butting in there. You remember when Turley gave a hand pass over there to McIntosh, and you were going to call McIntosh with the run on?
Yeah, he
got tagged from behind by Jeffrey, but because Turley had followed his hands, when the ball fell, it was Turley that swooped on the forward ball, and that's great follow-on.
Well, when you talk about St Kilda being 2 goals 2, and their defence has been under a great deal of pressure, but I don't reckon, Percy, that they would have kicked their 2 goals if it hadn't been for the play of Winmar on the left centre wing, because he was dynamic. He was an avenue out of the St Kilda defence to go through across the centre of the ground.
Yeah, Nicky Winmar's been in control. Although young Kemp hasn't done all that badly, particularly getting into centre bounce downs, he's been quite lively. I thought young Dean Kemp early in the game, but Nicky Winmar's a class and a skilled player as we know that. I thought the Grant looked interesting across half back. Took a lovely mark at one stage. And I thought Morris did a very good job opposed to Langdon. He's forcing Langdon. Of course, that might be part of the tactic, but I think the basic tactic of the Eagles is the way they all get back into defence. and then they run the ball out of defence so they don't get caught out with lack of numbers across the middle of the ground. They never just kick the ball to the middle of the ground. They chain it up with 2 or 3 hand passes, which means they cover ground and then can go over the top of the middle of the ground where the opposition seem to line them out a bit. And Mick Malthouse's tactics, his team plays, organisation is superb, I believe.
OK, we're ready now for the second quarter to get underway. Coming your way through 6PR and 3AW football is the ball in the centre of the ground. A chance for Craven. But gee, there's a big pack of players get down there to where the ball is on the ground, and the umpire decides to bounce once again. Well, Harding came on the ground at the 29-minute mark in the first quarter of play and is now working in the ruck for St Kilda. See what he does is he's taken on by Irving, who gets the tap away out towards a teammate in Turley, who soccers off the ground, picked up by Mainwaring. Hand pass is good to Langdon, who swings and spins onto the left boot, kicks up towards centre half forward as the ball drops well for Rice to clear up for St Kilda. He goes wide towards the right centre wing. McAdam into the air, can't mark. In goes Mainwaring, feeds out a quick hand pass to Turley, who's backing up well. Turley to link man, goes onto the right boot to kick towards that left half forward flank, and Henny covering a ton of ground, comes across to take the mark on his chest. Looks for the leader, Sumich. He's out in front of Frawley. Frawley takes him on. The ball to the ground. Sumich a chance to gain possession, but they're desperate in defence here, St Kilda. Umpire blows the whistle and decides that he's going to have it, and it'll be a bounce down just forward of the 50-metre line for the Eagles. Into attack towards the Subiaco end in this quarter.
Brilliant play by Frawley then.
Certainly was, so we wait and see what happens. Up went Sumich, took the ball away with him, fed out a hand pass. It's been taken quickly by Jeffrey. Very quickly gets it over towards Morris. Morris onto the right boot, drives towards the centre of the ground. Down comes Waterman. Awkward bounce, knocked over towards McKenna. Backed up by Waterman. That's the way the hand pass goes as the Eagles go wide again towards the left half forward flank. And in from the side of the pack goes Langdon, and Langdon has taken a mark. Well, Frawley's watching Sumich very closely. Langdon sets it up. Oh, it's a dewdrop in. Up went Morris. He got back into that open space. Was interfered with by Sumich, and the free kick goes the way of the St Kilda defender.
Yes, he did it well too, Morris. He occupied the space, and a frustrated Peter Sumich went in the back, and Lewis wants to scrap again. He seems to be good at that. In the meantime, the ball goes out wide. An opportunity there for Grant to mark at right half back. I like the look of this fella as he plays on quickly. He looks for a lead further down. Gee, once again has been intercepted by Peter Wilson, who's gone over the top very quickly. He's outmarked Harvey and drawn and gone to Mainwaring on that left half forward flank. He's forced to kick hurriedly, but he's got depth. The Lewis is in there going back with the ball. So is Harding. The ball spills. Looks like a free kick to Lewis, the one behind the ear. So obviously Harding and Lewis got mixed up. Harding's memory was obviously longer than Lewis's because Lewis was going for the ball. And I didn't think there was a lot in it.
No, I didn't either, Percy.
Anyway, Lewis is going to get a kick. He's going to kick a goal.
Tell you what, one of the interesting things was when Lewis was still scruffing up with Harding, they'd created a loose man down in the centre of the ground, St Kilda, and it was only that timely mark that was taken by Wilson, or St Kilda had an open passage into their forward line.
It was a good mark by Wilson. He's certainly in good form, Peter Wilson, in the last month of this football season. As we wait on Lewis, and he's kicked the Eagles 8. So on the FAI Insurance scoreboard, they are 8 goals free, 51. St Kilda 2-2-14.
Yeah, well, I think that was a charity goal. They didn't need that, the Eagles. They're going so well without it. And as you suggested, St Kilda are on the run. Had that silly free kick not been given, or was it warranted or not, but it puts another nail in the coffin for the St Kilda's team, 8-3 to 2-2.
Yeah, well, they need something. They need something very quick, Marty, to sort of bridge the gap, and they're not getting the ball into their forward line enough, and also not quick enough, really, are they?
Getting it out of the centre.
No, they're not getting it out of the middle at all. I mean, Harvey's been almost non-existent in that area. They had Coughlin in there for a while. He looked like he's going all right, and they got him out again now.
All right, we'll see what will happen now, because Irving's winning the majority of centre knocks, and Harding's going to take him on. Irving sets, and up he goes. Tries to get the ball down, but it's been snared very quickly by Newport. The kick is smothered. They go in pretty desperately, the Eagles, and win the ball from the boot of Mainwaring, wide towards the right half-forward flank. Jeffrey's in the right position at the right time for St Kilda and holds up this Eagle attack.
Doing all right now too, Jeffrey.
Yeah, looking for leads downfield. He's going to come towards the left centre wing. They're going to set, and up they go. Up goes the player there in Pekin, but in the meantime, there was interference there by Coughlin on Waterman, who's very steady in defence for the Eagles, and he takes it. Right half-forward flank goes the kick. They set, big... Oh, what a mark by Morris. Oh, Oh, he climbed into the air there and took a gem over the top of Langdon, and he's one of the St Kilda defenders that is playing extremely well as he goes towards the left centre wing as Irving comes through, bumps the ball to the ground. In went Harvey, took a bump, fired out a hand pass, but was Lamb who anticipated it well. Goes onto the left boot, one out duel, Sumich and Frawley. Down to the ground goes the ball. Harding lends a hand, fires a hand pass into no man's land. Pacer Wilson's looking for the bounce, can't gain it. He's under pressure, but he's got enough pace to get away and fire a hand pass into an open space. Down they charge, but Lamb on this occasion is outmanoeuvred by Harding, and he relieves pressure for St Kilda out wide towards the right centre wing.
But McKenna wins the race there very quickly for the Eagles. Goes around the corner with the left boot. Not a lot on offer, so he rolled it along the ground and over the line and out of bounds.
First, the player I thought had been a bit of trouble for lack of pace is Frawley, but he's doing a magnificent job.
Oh, yeah, actually, he's 8 yards quicker than I thought he was, Marty. You're right about that. There's the throw in now. Harding a chance, but McIntosh comes in over the top. An opportunity now for Craven to work the ball. Eventually it spills to Lewis, who goes with the draw to Turley. He's at left half forward, 80 metres out. He's gone with a torpedo punt, but slotting across the face of the pack was Rice to relieve pressure on the last line of defence. He's slightly towards the right back pocket rather than directly in front. Absolutely nothing, so he should go to Harding, who has slotted away on his own, but he's ignored that. Moved the ball longer. An opportunity now. Oh, there's a good mark taken on that occasion. Looks like Pekin who's taken the mark. Goes over very quick to Harvey. He goes to Newport. Newport can go out wide now to Craven. They're on that right centre wing. The backup's on by Harvey. He's lost possession, but goes back in strongly. The pressure by McKenna is superb, which will bring play to a standstill. Harvey was over the top. They pressured him to the ground, and McKenna applied the tackle on the left centre wing. Gee, the hand pass is good from McKenna. Goes quickly to the run-off of Michael Brennan. Brennan goes for the leader. Langdon, inch perfect that pass was. Langdon threads off quickly to Wilson, who got a fit of the fumble. Grant applied superb pressure. Great pressure by Grant. Stacks on the mill developer centre forward for the Eagles side, and there'll be a throwdown in that position. That was good pressure, but the thread off hand pass was extra good by Langdon. The handling by Wilson was poor. As a result, we got a stop in play instead of a thread through the position, which probably would have opened it out for a goal. But still, you can't have everything, I suppose, as we wait on the throwdown. The thump away on this occasion by Wilson. All right, a chance for Nicky Winmar, being picked up very quickly on this occasion by Morris. Gee, he's blasted and he's blazed. It was straight out of bounds on the full over on this right centre wing for the Eagles side, and a very useful user of the ball in Chris Waterman.
No left foot there with Morris.
No, and I'll tell you what, it just was about a metre too long, so Waterman, who usually kicks the ball in very, very precise manner, goes back towards half forward. Pack sets itself, McIntosh in the front.
You see what Langdon did then?
There's interference behind the play.
Just pushed Morris straight out of the pack of players.
Well, Morris, he must have thought he kicked it out of bounds on the full last time, so I'll give him another one. That must have been what has the two blonde-headed blokes. Anyways, Morris comes up towards the left centre wing. He's gone to the leader, Lowe. Why not? He's beautiful hands. Now Lowe's going to scruff Jakovic in the head. He's forced to play on very quickly from this left centre wing, grandstand side. Lowe goes down to centre half forward, dropping back a chance for Brennan. Well put off the ball by Waterman. Goes with a hand pass to Irving. He goes again to Kemp. Kemp's besieged by Winmar. Stacks on the mill developed just forward to left centre wing for the St Kilda side. Nicky Winmar applies a neck hold.
Didn't he go in hard for the ball?
He did, but the FAI Insurance Scoreboard brought to you for Emu Export Lager. Eagles 8-3, St Kilda 2-2.
Been playing 7.5 minutes. The ball coming down over towards Jakovic, who spins onto the right boot. Wilson's got pace, going to be taken on by Grant. Harding's double back him, but Wilson with sheer pace tries to force the ball through. Overruns the ball. In went Matera. Big pack of players develop now. Players appeal for holding the ball, and the umpire says that he'll have it, and it'll be a bounce down. Up towards the centre half forward position for the Eagles, attacking towards the Subiaco end of the ground.
Burke's put a bit of a stopper on Matera, you know, Frank.
Certainly has, so we'll wait and see what happens now as McIntosh goes up to do the work and hooks the ball well to Lamb, tries a hand pass, been sharked quickly here by Harvey, gets it quickly over towards Newport, drives St Kilda to centre half forward, under pressure as Kitchke claims a mark. Umpire says yes. The back up on very quickly by Craven, got away from Lamb, goes onto the left boot, one out duel, Lockyer and Lockett. The ball knocked away cleverly by Lockyer. Downfield comes McKenna, sure ball handler, hand passes over towards Lockyer. Tell you what, he put himself under the pump. The ball goes close to the boundary line, but the umpire said it's out of bounds and a throw-in to take place. Well, Andrew Lockyer looked as if he was playing from memory on that occasion.
Yeah, but his spoil initially was good.
Oh, full marks for that, Percy. That's the way I called it. In they go. Kishke up. The ball knocked away. Comes over towards McKenna, who's playing strongly in defence. They draw McAdam. They hand pass to Jakovic. Jakovic quickly over towards Mainwaring under pressure, but he's backed up well by McKenna. McKenna goes onto the left boot to drive up towards the left centre wing. Big pack into the air. No mark is taken. Crumbs go to Turley. Gosh, he's got good finesse as he goes around onto the right boot. one-out duel, Heady and Rice playing a lot better in this quarter, and since he's been shifted onto Heady and takes the mark. Decides to go right across field. Gee, across field he goes, over towards their player Nathan Burke, under pressure, tackled strongly by Sumich. In they go, taken over the ground. There was Matera, carried over by Winmar, and Winmar, as the ball been forced over the line, and Percy, a St Kilda player there in a bit of trouble.
And so is McIntosh. So is actually McIntosh.
Is that McIntosh or is it Langdon?
Well, McIntosh is in trouble. I think there's two Eagles players in trouble. Anyway, the ball's come up towards left centre wing where Lowe leading in the race again, but Jakovic is doing all right. He's forcing this man well away from his position. The hand passes off to the lively Nicky Winmar, left centre wing. He's gone with the pass, but Dean Irving slots a kick behind the play, drops what he should have taken. McKenna's backup is good. Kitchke pinches the ball, goes to McAdam, who fumbles. Kitchke follows up, but he's tackled superbly by Lewis, allows the ball to fall to Waterman. Waterman draws to Kemp. Kemp goes quickly to Turley. The overlap's on back to Kemp. They've moved the ball superbly from defence up towards right half forward. Wilson demands front berth with pace. Plays on quickly with the left boot. Goes down in the recovered Langdon direction. Morris puts him off the ball. The ball spills to Heady. Heady tries to go to Matera, but again it's been put off the line on this occasion by Rice, and he seeks the line again along the line with the bounce, and he's put the ball. It was Burke who worked the ball along the line and took it over the line and out of bounds towards the right half forward flank grandstand side for the Eagles side. FAI Insurance scoreboard, Eagles 8-3, St Kilda 2-2. There's a throw in. McIntosh takes front berth, swats the ball to Matera. Matera quick for the lively Turley. He has been lively, but Winmar's pinched this one. Swamped by Langdon very quickly. The ball spills again very quickly to Dwayne Lamb, who goes to Turley from deep out of the right forward pocket. You can't kick him from there, can you? No. 8-4 on the FAI Insurance scoreboard to the Eagles 2-2 St Kilda.
He answered your question first. He answered your question. He nearly did with a beautiful shot.
I tell you what, we've been playing 10.5 minutes in this quarter of football, and the Kilda defence has been under a lot of pressure, but they're sticking tight to their opponents because the Eagles have only kicked 1-1, and St Kilda haven't scored so far in this quarter, so it's a hard, tough game of football. They bring the ball into play. Frawley accepts the pass, goes wide towards the right centre wing, found Newport. Newport's going to come inboard towards centre half forward. Low leads. So does Brennan comes through. Sockers off the ground. Up they go. Turley went in a bit too soon. Brennan follows it up beautifully, put under pressure, but still fights on, tries to gain possession and does. Works it out quickly to Lamb. Lamb to Kemp. Kemp's going to kick it high and wide. Mainwaring's on his own, and Mainwaring has taken a mark. Gee, do you reckon this Turley's linking the game? He's on his own all the time, Turley. Mark's on the 50-metre line. He's dummied around Harding. He's steadied. He's kicked. He's kicked the goal. Good football by the Eagles as they move on the FAI Insurance scoreboard to 9 goals for. St Kilda are 2-2, and you'd think St Kilda would think that Turley's got leprosy. Nobody wants to play on him.
He was loose, but Danny Frawley came out there in defence. He didn't know which way to go and meet him or wait for the ball to come over his head. He didn't either, and Turley did the rest. Beautiful exhibition.
I'll tell you what, you people back there on 3AW, don't be surprised if Turley wins your Brownlow medal this year. He's been in great form, this man, and he's just perpetual motion. That's why they can't tag him, because he persistently outruns the taggers, and he is lively. Again, been won by Dean Irving. Working in there was Harvey, but the ball comes to Harding. He's gone out wide to Craven. Craven's worked through the centre of the ground. He's pretty good, this young bloke, as he plays the ball down to the lead. Again, Lockett's out-led Lockett on that occasion. Tapped through by McAdam. He was legged. There's no doubt about that. McAdam was legged. Lockett says I was held, but the umpire says McAdam's going to get the free kick. He's going to kick in from 45 metres just right of centre. Less than a 45-degree angle. Should have no trouble. McAdam, they need a goal desperately. Well, the scoreboard, FAI Insurance scoreboard tells you that 9-4 to 2-2. That's a 44-point difference at this stage. Can this make it 38? It'll make it 43 or 38, I should imagine. It's made it, what's it made it? 38, Frank. A goal to McAdam. Much needed on the FAI Insurance scoreboard. The Eagles are 9-4. St Kilda moved to 3-2.
St Kilda are hanging in there strongly against the side that's 6 goals up on them. They're fighting hard. They're making the Eagles earn everything. It shows the class of the Eagles. They're still prevailing under the enormous pressure that St Kilda are putting on them.
Marty, getting the ball out of the centre then. You see, you made that point earlier.
Well, Harding did that. He used strength to get that ball when the ball hit the deck.
They should have started with Harding because he's more his second effort is better than Kitschke. So if the ball dead heats, he'll play more pressure after the ball falls, I reckon.
Okay, we'll see what will happen now at this centre bounce down as we're approaching now the 13-minute mark. The bounce down in the centre. It's an awkward bounce. Harding goes, thumps the air, doesn't take possession. It comes out to Turley, tries to soccer off the ground, but Newport's making his presence felt now. Goes onto the left boot. Waterman's taken on by Coghlan. Across to lend a hand is Jekovic. The ball rolls free. Pike under pressure gets a quick hand pass to McKenna. Back up as well by Pike as he accepts the hand pass to McKenna. Runs around out towards the left centre wing. Good shepherding by Lamb allows McKenna, or I should say Pike, to penetrate up towards the left centre wing position. Downfield comes player in Sumich, well out of ground. Goes onto the left boot and uses the ball beautifully towards the left half forward flank. He's found Mainwaring. Mainwaring onto the left boot up towards full forward. Langdon playing in that position now. He's got the run of the ball. Taken on by Jeffrey. Forced over the line and a throw-in will take place.
Where's Sumich playing, Frank?
I think he's playing at centre half forward now. Centre half forward and Langdon down to full forward. The ball out of bounds in the Eagles' left full forward pocket. Subiaco end of the ground as we wait on the throw-in. McIntosh to do the work. Over the back of the pack came Harding. Harding fires out a long hand pass. Jeffrey goes in. Sunk free struggle by the vigour of Langdon. Langdon tries to get it over towards Turley, but in the meantime St Kilda in defence rush the ball through and force it for 1 point only. So on the Eagles, on the FAI insurance scoreboard, moved to 9 goals 5. St Kilda are 3-2, and the ball to be kicked into play by Frawley.
Yes, it's a wonder they didn't change Frawley out with Sumich. The deep kick out goes in the Morris direction. He's opposed by a couple of Eagles. The ball falls. An opportunity again to be picked up very quickly by Harvey, who goes up to the middle of the ground where Coghlan leads his man on that occasion to the ball and has marked the ball directly in the middle of the ground. He goes back to Harvey, who ran on after the kick. Now he's going to penetrate the full forward position. Where's Lockett? Here's Lockett. Hands galore. Magnificent mark, and he read the ball off the boot superbly.
Well, you see, Lockyer was left up the ground. He was playing out in front. And
I think that's space, Frank. There was space, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's Lockyer's way to handle Lockett. I think he's going to play him in front, and sometimes it's going to come unstuck because that was a quick penetration. It was good play by Harvey because he followed his ball, and that made a bit of difference. There's a bit of a skirmish going on in the middle of the ground. Frank, tell me if anything.
No, they're just out there having drinks.
Well, having a drink. They haven't seen the sun. They haven't seen the sun for a long time. It's like Marty every time he goes out and he ends up with sunstroke. But we wait on this one. As Lockett kicks the ball, will he kick it?
He'll kick it from here.
Well, he'll certainly kick it. There's no doubt about it. And they fought back. And Lockett's the first full forward of note in this game today to kick a goal as he brings up St Kilda's fourth. They're 4-2 on the FAI insurance scoreboard, trailing the Eagles, who are 9-5.
It was a pretty good tactic, though, of Lockett's, like where Lockyer was up in front of him and he just drifted away and then moved out. Lockyer couldn't cover him, Marty.
One thing in his favour, Lockett, hasn't he got beautiful hands?
Marvellous hands.
Oh, yeah.
Marvellous hands.
Very cumbersome fellow, but...
Oh, yeah, but in tight situations, he's a quick fella too, Marty, isn't he? You know, I mean, the man...
for 5 yards.
The man is a genius, you know. There's no doubt about that.
Well, 33 points the difference on the FAI insurance scoreboard. 16-minute mark in this quarter of play. As he wait on Harding now to set against Irving. Harding goes up, uses body well to tap out over towards Pekin. He's put under pressure. Wilson barges through a pack to Turley. The ball to the ground, knocked on quickly by Kemp, but it comes away over to that magic man, Winmar. Gee, slipped just as he went to kick the ball, and it wasn't a good one. Allowed Kemp in. His kick is not good. Harding makes his presence felt as he again takes the mark and goes wide towards the right half forward flank. Looks for the marking pair of Kitschke. He's taken on by Brennan, who's playing well. Spins out of the pack. Goes around Winmar. Complimented by Kemp to take a hand pass. Out towards the left half forward flank, and here's Sumich out in front of Morris to take the mark. What's he going to do? Drops onto the left boot. Oh, in went Lewis. He slipped down in front of Newport and the ball goes over the line.
Well, they've got to keep out of that left forward pocket. Yeah. It's pretty slippery over there, isn't it?
Certainly is. I think that's where some of the old practice wickets at the Subiaco Oval used to be there, and I think it's always still a bit of a slippery position out there as you wait on the ball to come into play. Well, they wait now for Harding, and he's going to jostle with McIntosh. Behind the pack is Jeffrey. Oh, went the hand pass pretty slow. Lewis robbed him of it. Dummies around beautifully around Newport. Steadies and kicks and misses. Has missed.
Told by the crowd he's missed, Frank.
Yep, he couldn't hear a roar. 9 goals, 6 on the FAI insurance scoreboard to the Eagles. St Kilda are 4 goals 2, and Frawley to kick into play.
Like George Grulicic, he has a lot of misses. We want on the ball to come back into play as Danny Frawley comes out wide towards left half back. Cran into the air, takes a superb mark. Just on that left half back flank, Grant's taken a mark. You like the look of this fella as he plays on very quickly down towards the left centre wing. You look for the marking power low. He's mixed up with Djakovic. Djakovic does it well. The ball falls. Pekin tries to push the ball through to Coghlan. Pekin follows up well, and then he chucked the ball. He's thrown the ball to Coghlan. He's gone now with a hand pass to Craven. He's beset upon, but does it well as he dummies to his left. He looks for the lead of Lockett. Lockett comes out, intercepted by Guy McKenna. Guy McKenna's done it superbly, you remember. Don't worry about that, because he was once upon a time.
A lot of courage there.
Yeah, because once upon a time, if your memory's right, he was run right over by Lockett, but he's played magnificently, McKenna. He's forced the ball out of bounds in that left forward pocket for the St Kilda side as we wait on the throw-in. Kitchke to do battle with Irving. Irving stumped out of Pike is superb. He goes very quickly to Mainwaring deep in his defence, but how careless can you get? A high, wide kick is going to go over the line out of bounds on the full. Craven just pushed Twain Lamb out the road and let the ball fall, but it didn't go on the full. So we're now at the 50-metre line. Left half forward for the St Kilda side. That's the grandstand side of the ground as we wait on the throw-in. Dean Irving tries to tap and does so to Djakovic. I like the way he's played. He's clever too with a hand pass sideways to Dean Kemp. Dean Kemp goes up to where he looks for Matera, but Matera's been put out of business by Burke, and this is another classic case right in the middle of the ground. Burke's outmarked him, plays on to Harding. He set his man up, overkicked that player. A short kick was foolish because Wilson's intercepted. Out comes Langdon on a lead. He'll break to the left. Now he feeds the hand pass to Hetty. Hetty on that right half forward flank tries to squeeze it in, but can't. 1 point only. FAI Insurance scoreboard. Eagles 9-7. St Kilda 4-2.
Well, we're going to wait on the ball to come into play. Quick transference of play on that occasion, and now it looks like it's Newport going to bring the ball in for St Kilda. Possibly comes straight down the centre of the ground. No, comes out towards the left half-back flank on the grandstand side. Grand sets, knocked away by Kemp. Crumbs very quickly over towards the player in Rice. He kicks towards the centre. Double banking there was Irving. Under pressure. 2-1 situation as Waterman comes in to complement. Djakovic backs up well from centre half-back and playing solidly. Take your pick. You've got Kemp and Turley loose. Kemp onto the right boot. Leaders on by Langdon. Slides to the ground and can't mark. Looks for a hand pass out towards Matera, but Jeffries cuts the line of flight. Taken very quickly there by a player out there. It looks like it was Burke. Burke is under pressure. In went Turley. Gave it out back to Langdon. In goes Burke again. Put under pressure by Hetty. Gee, no man standing out there. Faintheart wouldn't have won a fair lady in that passage of play, and the ball has gone over the line. So one on the ball to come into play. Players getting set there. McIntosh will do the work. Up they go. In the meantime, Wilson in from the side of the pack, thumps into an open space. Run of the ball goes very quickly the way of Burke. He kicks towards the centre. Mainwaring good courage football going with the flight of the ball. Gains possession. Spins onto the left boot. Sumich compliments. Onto the left boot he goes. Takes the lead and takes the mark on the chest.
Great going to the boot, Frank, by Sumich. Then won it. I mean, Mainwaring was forced left, and that's where Sumich went.
And Sumich looks more impressive, and under pressure is Morris. The kick a spiral punt towards forward, and McIntosh into the side of the pack takes a real strong mark in a pack of players and is only about 15 metres out directly in front.
See, I was questioning, was he ready? Is he ready? This bloke is good.
Oh, yeah, well, Percy just got eyes for the ball all the time, and I mean, he's got a good pair of hands, so he's got a chance now to bag his second for the day. And we've been playing, let's see, coming up to the 21-minute mark in this second quarter of play is McIntosh directly in front at the Subiaco end, comes in, he kicks, it's through for a six-pointer, McIntosh is second, and the Eagles 10th. They move on the FAI Insurance scoreboard to 10 goals 7. St Kilda are 4-2, and you're listening to football on 6PR and 3AW.
Yeah, I want to make me point about McIntosh. We said initially, I think this fella's going to, he's Brownlow medal potential in years to come. He's a perfect athlete. He can jump in the air, and he's showing his aerial ability today by taking these beautiful marks. Bradley matures. He's going to be anything.
He won't peak and go home with nightmares. He's lobbed on Mainwaring now, and Mainwaring's absolutely blitzing. He wished to gosh he hadn't crossed the Nullarbor, or he wished he had fallen out of the plane halfway over, I think, without a parachute. We wait on the throw down again. Paul Harding's done a lot better at bounce downs. We wait on this one. Dean Irving caught under the ball. Harding, but he does it well. Irving goes over very quickly to where Pekin does get a kick, but it's a hurry kick, and Djakovic intercepts that one. Gee, I like his hand passing, Djakovic. He's gone quickly to Waterman. The run-off is even better as Pikes come to back and complement that up. He can pop on now very quickly to Wilson, but decides to go longer towards half-force. Floating into the ears, McIntosh again like a bird, but didn't mark. Taps out very quickly to Turley. Turley's elusive, but Grant's strong in tackle and puts Turley and ball over the line and out of bounds right half forward for the Eagles side. We're 22 minutes into the second quarter. On the FAI Insurance scoreboard for Ringu Export Lager, we've got Eagles 10-7, St Kilda 4-2.
Well, the front berth goes to McIntosh, brings the ball to the ground, then follows it up well with a lightning hand pass out towards Langdon, put under pressure. Turley comes to knock on over towards Wilson. He can't control the ball, neither can Hetty, and the ball has gone out of bounds. midway between the right half forward flank and right full forward pocket at the Subiaco end of the ground, as we're at the 22.5 minute mark. I reckon that's dangerous, bringing those young players around the boundary line there when there's still about 10 minutes of footy left in this quarter. Anyway, in the meantime, the ball coming out of defence, or no, it's not. The umpire saying you've got to come back and kick the ball over your mark, and it looks like the free kick's gone the way of Paul Harding in the last line of defence.
Frank Morris has been quieter at centre half back since Sumich has got on him.
Well, Sumich is playing the true centre half forward position and just moving across the ground.
Fast, yeah.
So we'll see now with Harding. Here's the free kick. Left half back flank goes the kick up. They go well. Sumich and Morris mix up. Sumich has got the front position and he's taken the mark. Tell you what, this is not a bad move on the part of the West Coast Eagles, this one, I reckon, because Sumich will just drop it onto the boot. In goes Kemp. He waited for the ball to come to him. In went Winmar, knocked it away, but Kemp recovered well, gained possession, fed the hand pass to the link man Turley. 2 steps, 1 kick, through the middle she goes. Number 11 on the board to the Eagles. Well, we've been playing 23.5 minutes in this second quarter of play. The Eagles on the FAI insurance scoreboard move to 11 goals 7. St Kilda are 4 goals 2.
Very good effort by Winmar then, but the St Kilda players didn't follow it up, but Turley did. Gee, he can read the ball well, this player. He never stops running. Wouldn't he be a hard player to mind? And finishes off with a beautiful goal.
I was impressed with Kemp. He waited for the ball, which was a mistake, but he didn't let the mistake worry him. He came back quickly to create the hand pass to Turley that finished, It's good to see a player not let a mistake get him down as Irving wins the tap away again. Turley thumps further forward, down in the direction of Sumich. He taps off McAdam a chance. He's been run completely over on that occasion by Mainwaring. The ball spills very quickly to Newport. He's put off the ball by Dwayne Lamb. He's pushed it through. Gee, it's shovel at any cost as the ball goes down. Eventually to Matera. He split the pack and left half forward. Gone goalward and has goal. FAI insurance scoreboard is Eagles 12-7, St Kilda 4-2.
Well, Marty, that's what sheer persistence keeps doing, wanting possession of the ball.
They're winning the ball, but they're winning it against fierce opposition. It's not just a cakewalk like it was at Footscray a few weeks ago. They're doing it against a side that's really having a lash, but their speed and talent and ability is much too much at the moment. They're getting right away now.
Well, when a guy like Rice has been... I think it's Burke. Burke. Nathan Burke is playing on the Matera, and he's quieting him down a great deal, but he just got away on that occasion.
Oh, the numbers just rolled the ball, Frank.
Just sure pressure. So we wait on the bounce down on the centre of the ground now. Irving, who's doing a great job at centre bounce down, taken on by Harding, but Harding gets the tap to Lowe. Lowe fires out a hand pass. In went Mainwaring and shepherded well. Jakovic comes through, gains possession. There's time to go onto the right boot, but decides to hand pass. He's got numbers to compliment him as it goes the hand pass out to McKenna. Downfield comes this will-o'-the-wisp here and Turley. He takes the mark, plays on quickly towards the left half forward flank. Morris and Sumich opposed. Morris knocks the ball away and it's out of bounds.
The player I thought was going to be a good player, Harvey, seems half interested.
Oh, he's chasing Turley. That'll make anybody half interested.
Yeah. So we'll see on the ball coming into play. Front berth goes towards Harding. He tries to tap down, but going in pretty solid there looking for possession was an Eagles player there on the deck. He's flattened as he was tackled pretty strongly indeed, but he's getting to his feet now. It looks like it was Mainwaring, and there's going to be a bounce down. On the left half forward flank for the West Coast Eagles. They're going towards the Subiaco end. As the big fella now, Sumich, is going to set. It's Harding who taps away. Gee, they're playing volleyball at the present moment as the ball knocked to the ground. A chance for Jeffrey put under pressure there by Wilson. Ball very close to the boundary line, been taken away very quickly by the... Oh, beautiful mark by Wright. Beautiful mark. Gee, he got Matera out of position and took a beautiful one-hander. Goes down to the lead and penetration of Frawley, who unfortunately falls over when going for the mark. The ball spilling free has been socked on by a player there in Pike. Matera's got pace to gain possession. Hooks with the right boot as Lewis comes into an open space. In they go pretty strongly as Sumich is manhandled and pushed out of the way. Hand pass by Langdon over towards Lewis. The ball to the ground. Very quickly in defence they work the ball away through Burke. Burke gets it out quickly under that right half-back flank to find McAdam, and St Kilda rebound towards the centre of the ground. Kiski under the ball. Socket away in defence quickly by Irving out wide where Mainwaring's on his lonesome. He's got a chance to go around Grant and does. Then goes around Pekin. Brings the ball in towards the centre of the ground where Langdon will set, but a good mark in defence. Taken by St Kilda's Jeffrey. Holds up that Eagles attack.
Goes with a hand pass to Craven. Craven's got the draw and goes over the top to McAdam. They're out back with a right centre wing. They've gone up deep to towards their half-forward line, but there's nobody there but Eagles, and it's Glenn Jakovich or Dean Irving. Glenn Jakovich is doing superbly, picks the ball up very quickly, taps it to ground once, penetrates over left half-back and goes towards the left centre wing. Not much sense in that. St Kilda have got the numbers on this occasion. Grant comes away with the ball. He's penetrated from right centre wing and gone up to a lead out towards Kitchke on that right half-forward flank. Kitchke does a mark, lays over the ball. Gee, she was over the line and out of bounds, and that was a bit fortunate because, well, Brennan and Kitchke got a bit angry at each other, but there'll be a throw-in. Right half-forward for St Kilda side. They need goals. 12-7 to 4-2. The Eagles lead on this occasion as the ball taps. Craven works in. Pekin goes in. Craven persists. He can't bring the ball out because the Eagles swarm all over him. The ball eventually spills out again. Picked up very quickly by McAdam. McAdam screws in from right half-forward down towards right forward pocket. Leading in the race is Lockyer. The ball eludes him. Lockett picks it up from deep in the right forward pocket and goals. That is a genius goal from a genius player. A magnificent goal to Tony Lockett, and one the St Kilda side desperately needed on the FAI insurance scoreboard. Eagles 12-7, St Kilda 5-2.
There wasn't much daylight there, Frank.
No, not at all.
Those goals, he did it so coolly too.
But unfortunately for Lockyer, he led in the race to the ball, Marty, and the ball just bounced over his shoulder, and Lockett hadn't really time to steady, but it was still a beautiful kick, Percy.
But that indicated Lockyer's lack of recovery.
Oh, right.
An agile player would have been able to turn and follow that ball, Frank, and that's one thing that Lockyer does lack a little bit of because, like suppose that had been a Mainwaring, he still would have been able to turn on the flow of the
pressure
ball.
Yeah. Okay, it's 47 points the difference in favour of the Eagles. The bounce down in the centre, Irving and Harding. The ball, a split decision there as it comes down between the two players. Big pack develop and the umpire decides to bounce once again. Eagles got plenty of numbers around the bounce of the ball too at this present moment as he waits for the two big fellas, Harding and Irving, to lock horns, and they set. Harding goes, gets the thump away. There's a chance now for a player in Pekin under pressure by Kemp. Tries to hand pass. It's taken away from him by McKenna. Onto the right boot. Up we go. Jeffrey's taken on by Lockyer. The ball to the ground. Jeffrey hasn't got much to back him up. Across comes Nathan Burke. Under a great deal of pressure. Handles the ball well. Hand passes very quickly on over towards a teammate there. It looks like it's Harvey. They get it further downfield over towards Winmar, but he's kicking towards centre half forward. It's not good. Into the space went McKenna, who's playing a real good game of football in defence. Takes the mark. Very quickly the hand pass goes to Pike. They go wide towards the left half-back flank where Michael Brennan's having a birthday. He's backed up well by Lockyer. Lockyer goes short over towards Mainwaring, who's being watched by McAdam. Downfield they go. In comes Pekin. Gains possession well for St Kilda. Hand passes to Craven. Little fella's got a chance to dob it up into an open space. Oh, out comes Lockyer. He trips over. Umpire says play on. Pike gets the ball and relieves pressure for the Eagles towards the right centre wing. Drop of the ball. Hands. It comes down over towards Turley, who knocks on cleverly over towards Kemp. Downfield they go as McKenna comes in. He's had a million touches in this game as he goes wide towards the right half forward flank, looking for Hetty, who's been kept pretty quiet in this quarter. And in the meantime, there's been a bit of a problem. The ball's gone over the line and the siren goes to end this second quarter of footy here at the Subiaco Oval. Half-time scores on the FAI insurance scoreboard for you. The Eagles are 12 goals 7, 79, leading St Kilda 5 goals to 32. Okay, well, 47 points the difference at the half-time break here at Subiaco Oval, with the Eagles 12 goals 7, St Kilda 5 goals 2. The goal scorers for the West Coast Eagles, 5 to Brett Hetty, 2 each to McIntosh, Matera and Turley, and 1 to Chris Lewis. And for St Kilda, Tony Lockett has kicked 2, and 1 each McAdam, Craven and Wilson. Well, the tempo of the game, Percy, continued in the second quarter, and she was a real hard, tough quarter of footy too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought that St Kilda did a little bit better because of the fact that I thought Paul Harding sort of evened up a little bit more at centre bounce downs, so it wasn't always chase out of the middle. Sometimes St Kilda were able to come out of the centre bounce down, and also I thought that the lineups in defence, like Jeffrey started to get back into business. I thought that Burke was on Hetty, and he started to tighten up, and Rice got on to Matera, and things started to tighten up. There wasn't that space, and these players seemed to my mind, they played back a little bit behind Hetty and Matera so that these fellas couldn't get the run at goals that they were getting in that first quarter, so things tightened up to an extent. And Peter Sumich had been totally shut out by a magnificent display by Danny Frawley. I thought that he was every bit as quick as Sumich when Sumich was coming on a lead. He was just that, quarter of a metre behind where he could still get his hand into spoil, and Danny Frawley's display was probably one of the highlights of the game to me. So all of a sudden the defence tightened up. The Eagles had to work harder. McIntosh a couple of solo efforts when I thought the boy was brilliant the way he slid across the face of pack and took strong marks, but it got down to hard work to score your goals. Chris Mainwaring, Marty, was still pushing the ball up extremely well, and he's a key player across the middle of the ground.
Always has been. He's a thorn, and he gets the ball away, and they can't grab him. He ducks and dives and dances around players and delivers the ball so well.
But I thought one of the important factors also in the Eagles quarter there was the ability of Turley to run. He kept running and he linked the game so much so that the Eagles were able to put the defensive St Kilda under pressure consistently for that second quarter, weren't they?
Yeah, and while we're talking about the credits for the Eagles, Nicky Winmar, I made the point of Mainwaring on that left centre wing for the Eagles. Nicky Winmar on the left centre wing has been a clear winner, although Kemp doesn't give the issue away, like he was still a useful link player. But another impressive player for the Eagles has been Jakovic at centre half back, opposed to Lowe, who's a sensationally good player. But Jakovic has probably outread Lowe in the reading of the game.
Yeah, by the same token, the Eagles have had the back man around the ball, haven't they? And Jakovic has done beautiful handball. Hasn't been his marking.
Well, McKenna has always been available for him too, hasn't he?
Backing him up beautifully. He must be, he thinks it's Christmas Day with the flankers he's got there. But I would entirely agree. He's done a great job. But the players haven't sent the ball into Low as he requires it normally in the air.
Too much pressure up the field.
Yeah.
But I think Percy did hit the nail on the head as well. You see, virtually they haven't got anything from across the centre bar Winmar, and he can't be everywhere, can he? When they got the opportunity to come through him, he can perform.
And the thing that I've noticed about Winmar, they forced him very wide for his possessions, like he's deep out on the left centre wing when he's getting it, so he's virtually carrying the ball along the flank. He can't get it central to where they want it, to Lowe and Lockett. Although in all fairness to Lockett in that quarter, he did two strong things, like his marking was typically strong when he goaled first, then his goal from that right forward pocket over there, Frank, when you couldn't possibly see daylight, but he was confident as you like. He just stood firm, and and he never hesitated. He just poked it through. So what I like about St Kilda is they haven't given the issue away. Craven, although he's been tagged by Dwayne Lammarty, Craven has stuck in there, hasn't he?
Yeah, Craven, and to a lesser extent McAdam, but they haven't been dominant little players to give run, have they? Although they've fought like hell. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think the secret, the Eagles run everybody to where the ball is, and I think the only way you're going to count them is for everybody from the opposition side to run there with them.
Well, you see, it's most interesting because when you talk about, admittedly, because the Eagles have kicked 12-7, the St Kilda defence has been under a lot of pressure, but they had two winners. They had Frawley and they also had Morris at centre half back. Now, I thought when Sumich was shifted to centre half forward, because he ran around into the right spaces at the right time, Morris was found to be wanting a little bit. But for 2.5 quarters, Morris had been a tower of strength at centre half back, and the Eagles, because of numbers again, were forced to go around him a bit, but as you say, they had numbers at the drop of the ball and had the opportunity to convert all the time.
Frankie, you're going to tell me that Morris is going to play another good quarter, half a quarter in this one, because we've only played 2 quarters, so he couldn't have been for 2.5 quarters.
That's right, 1.5 quarters.
But
yeah,
Sumich, to my mind, played very well, but I thought Langdon didn't play well when he went to full forward, because I thought that Langdon had the who said that 3AW? I thought that Langdon had the Eagles side very deep in the pockets when he made his leads, and that was another compliment to Frawley, who pushed his man very wide, and also a compliment to Paul Harding, who I thought worked very well back deep into his defence.
Well, I suppose and it's not being critical because it's a constructive criticism, early in the game, I know you've got to let players settle down, but to me, Sheldon took, I don't know how you feel about it, Marty, I thought that he left Pekin on Heady far too long, and I reckon that he brought, it might be a tactic of St Kilda's, I don't know, but he brought Harding onto the ground at the 29-minute mark, and they blew the siren about 2 minutes later, and yet in the second quarter of football, Harding did quite a good job for St Kilda, even at centre bounce downs and around the ground. So to me, he should have been on the ground right from the start.
For the life of me, I've been watching him on television. He's been the dominant player on the ball for St Kilda. Now, Pisky's a good mark, and when he's set, but Harding's
I tell you what, he's not a half-forward flanker, is he?
No.
He's got no recovery, has he?
Well, he's got no pace either.
He's got absolutely no recovery. And Michael Brennan or McKenna must be nearly, or I suppose Heady's got to be the best player because he kicked 5 half-time.
But he's had a quiet quarter. The other blokes have done it for 2, you know.
Well, I thought Brennan and McKenna, I thought McKenna's football was strong.
How would you like him on either flank here, playing centre half back, don't they? Compliment the centre half back beautifully.
Well, if you've got to be 18 and playing centre half back on low, you'd like to have McKenna and Brennan playing wouldn't you?
Right. Anyway, let's say it's 12-7 to 5-2. We've covered the game, we feel, pretty well under the half-time break. So we'll have a breather, and we'll return to you to tell you about the third quarter of footy, when I think St Kilda are going to come out and throw everything at the West Coast Eagles to try and close the gap, where they're trailing by the present moment at 47 points. 12-7 place, 5-2 at the half-time break. Until we're ready for the third quarter of footy, it's back to respective stations, 3AW and... So the bounce down on the centre, up they go. Harding tries to tap away. It's not a clear knock. The ball on the ground. Oh, dear me. Stacks on the mill. Umpire says that he'll have it. And again, a bounce down will take place. And we've seen this happen on a lot of occasions when the ruckman, particularly since Harding's come onto the ground, where he and Irving have sort of shared the ball and there's not been a real clear tap away. There goes the bounce. Not a good one. Irving hooks over the back of the pack. The run of the ball goes the way of Harvey. Tries to bring it up towards centre half forward and does to low. In goes Craven. Met by... he's met very quickly by McKenna. In with Jakovic. He's even got a free kick. He got grabbed around the neck. Anyway, Eagles have numbers. Worked out beautifully by Lamb to Mainwaring on the left centre wing. He drives to an open space. In goes McIntosh. He and his immediate opponent there in Frawley fall over. McIntosh playing it full forward. The ball comes out wide over towards Davenport. Goes onto the right boot towards the right half-back flank and has found McAdam. So we see what McAdam's going to do. Gee, he's just looking down. He's not moving the ball forward very quickly at all. So he's going to kick it high up towards the right half forward flank. Lowe's going to set. Jakovic up and knocks away. Harding's going to tap. Lowe takes possession. Hooks it with the right boot. But again, Eagles have got numbers. Pike, very good in defence there. Fires out a long hand pass over to Waterman, who sees Winmark coming like the charge of the Light Brigade. The hand passes on to Kemp under pressure, but he's good enough to weave out of it. Draws low. Hand passes to Jakovic. And the Eagles now boot the ball towards centre half forward, where they set a chance for Rice. No mark. Coming through as Grant. Backed up very well indeed by Burke. Burke goes onto the right boot. The kick is not good, but it lands towards Craven, who uses pace to gain possession. Put off the ball by the vigour of Langdon, and the ball he kicks goes over the line on the full.
Gee, don't they force them wide, the Eagles?
Do they ever? So the ball will come into play, and it'll come from the boot of Chris Mainwaring,
who's had a million kicks again today. He's one of the leading kick getters in the AFL, and he's certainly been right up there again today as he's gone deep with his kick down towards left half forward. Ball Harding takes front berth on Langdon on this occasion and takes a good steady defensive mark on that right half back flank. Decides to switch play. Goes over very wide very quickly to where he finds Jeffrey. Jeffrey dummies inside the tackle and comes directly through centre half back and goes up towards half forward. Lowe sets himself, takes the mark, can thread the hand pass, but decides to play on kick deep towards Lockett. Lockyer and Lockett mix up the ball, spills. A chance for Brennan. He should be able to take possession and feed off, but doesn't. Good pressure by Lockett on this occasion. The ball eventually comes out to Mainwaring. On this occasion, he's got a fit of the fumbles for a moment, but he's steady enough. Kicks hurriedly. Davenport intercepts it right half forward, 50 metres out. Penetrates back, but it's Eagles numbers, and going back with the ball is Pike. He can break with the ball. He's well supported on this occasion by Lockyer, and Pike goes out to a gee whiz. I don't know why Lewis didn't mark the ball. He didn't. The ball spills. A chance for Coggan, but the Eagles numbers are there again, and it's Kemp who runs onto the ball, and with bullet-like precision he comes to Heady. Heady fumbles what he should have taken. Still on that right centre wing. The hand passing comes out to McAdam. McAdam can bounce away. Left centre wing now for the St Kilda side. He's bounced twice. He's penetrating towards centre half forward and comes out on the lead of Lockett, and Lockett coming out comfortably down the middle of the ground, which is the channel he seems to like to lead into. Takes the wrap-up mark about a metre in front of Lockyer. Well, that was good play on that occasion by McAdam, because he came back to the corridor instead of continuing as St Kilda have done in the early part of the game, going down the flank when they make the break. On this occasion, McAdam decided to come down the corridor. We'll see Lewis mouthing off over there to Lockett as Lockett's going to steady, but I guarantee he's had that a million times in his lifetime, and he hasn't worried too much about it. He shouldn't miss this. He's only going to kick from 42 metres out, or maybe just 40 metres out. Takes his time over his kick. He's kicked to the big fella, so he's jumped Sumich by 2 goals, and he's now jumped Sumich by 3 goals, I reckon. I reckon he's got it. No. He has. So on the FAI insurance scoreboard, the Eagles 12-7, St Kilda moved to 6-2.
Pretty obvious, you know, that Lewis has a bit of yabbering on the field. You can see him jigging Lockett then, but you couldn't put the big fella off. He's had too much experience in that, and he's beautiful shot for goal when he lines them up.
Well, the Eagles had a golden opportunity on that occasion when they had plenty of players running down for the ball, but full credit to St Kilda when they broke up the move and the rebound came for them to kick a 6-pointer. So the bounce down in the centre of the ground. Going to see now Irving and Harding, and they're both eyeing one another across the centre circle. See what happens with this bounce down as the two big fellas set. Up they go. It's Irving who taps away straight down the throat of Lamb, who spins onto the left boot and kicks it high towards centre half forward. Front Perth to Rice. Good mark in front of Hetty. And since the first quarter has been kept a bit quieter. So he goes towards the right half forward flank. Up they go. Front mark. Front Perth goes the way of Kitchke. He's marked. He's got a play on. Umpire should call it. He went to hand pass. Didn't know what to do. Lockett's got away from Lockett. Up they go and Lockett will mark this. Crikey, you can't give a man 15 metres to walk away from you.
But he was walking behind him.
But I mean, the point about it was that he was trying to anticipate where the ball was going to be kicked, but the guy had enough time to come round and look for the lead of Lockett, and that's the way it went.
I did think Irving should have got back to that space just the same. Irving was only, say, 10 metres up from that, and I think that's what Lockyer was sort of looking for.
Yeah.
So that he'd prop Lockett, then Lockyer could come over the top. Now he's going to do his boot up.
Yeah, everybody's going to have a breather for a while. So
maybe he's out of breath and need to catch up with it.
Yeah.
Good look, like losing your mouth guard.
In the ring.
Yeah. Anyway, there's one thing about it. I mean, he's doing his feet up. He'll never run out of it. That's one thing, like a lot of footballers do. But
well, this is 5 minutes into the quarter, so you would have thought we must have forgot to do it up at half time.
Oh, well, that often happens with some footballers, you know, Percy. So we'll wait and see.
But he can play this.
Yep, of course he can. And he's kicked 3, and he's going to kick from practically the identical position as last time now. So we'll see what he'll do with it. Very deliberate. Crowd's giving a big yahoo, but still that won't worry Lockett because he's going to kick up towards the Subiaco end. He kicks. The ball's high. I tell you what, I think he might have lost this one. He has. Got under it, and the crowd, you can hear from their cheer telling it was only a point. So it's 12-7 on the FAI insurance scoreboard to the Eagles, and St Kilda, who've been doing all the attacking so far in this quarter, moved to 6-3.
As he took too long to bring the ball into play. Anyway, it comes out quickly to Lockyer. Lockyer plays on quickly from right half back, goes out wide to where Kemp's been able to drop off on Pekin very, very easily, and he plays on from that right centre wing. He looks for the lead of Lincoln, but cutting across the face to pack is Rice again. He's starting to cut Hetty to pieces, as a matter of fact, is Rice. He plays in the middle of the ground. 2 St Kilda players there, and it's McAdam. He's played on quickly, McAdam. Dummied away too easy from Sumich. The support's excellent there from Cummings. So going down deep towards, that Nicky Winmar over the top of the pack, reminiscent of yesteryear to me here when he was playing for South Fremantle, and he floated over the top of Kemp on that left half forward flank on the 50-metre line. He's directly on the 50-metre line.
Could kick it, Percy.
Yes, he's about 50-degree angle. He's going to have to kick from 55, but Frank, that's the mark. That's where Kemp will stand on the 50-metre line.
And Irving's back in defence.
So he's deep back into defence on this occasion. The Eagles have got numbers in between too, I see that. Nicky Winmar will have to kick to his maximum, I reckon, to make this one. He's going to kick from 53. He's kicked to his maximum, but not accurately. The ball will fall. An opportunity there for Lockett to work his way through the pack. In goes Brennan, but they both all force the ball through for 1 point only. So on the FAI insurance scoreboard, the Eagles 12-7, St Kilda get to 6-4.
And we've been playing 7 minutes in this quarter. A few moves going on here now. Looks like Hetty's been brought back down the ground, and going up the field is Matera. So we wait on the ball to come into play, and it's going to be kicked in by Brennan. Brennan will go towards the right half-back flank on the outer side. Irving and Harding, knocked away by Harding. The ball to the ground. Winmar's got a chance, and he gains possession. Spins around onto the left boot. He'll look for the leader, Lockett. It's on. Lockett falls to the ground. He can't mark. Tries to claim it. Ball is underneath, and the umpire says no. Although you might be laying on it and somebody's got hold of you, I'm going to bounce the ball, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Matera off, Scotty Waters on.
Oh, is that what's happening, is it? Righto, we'll see what's going to happen in this bounce down now, because Kitchke's going to come in and do the work now. And St Kilda peppering away up in their forward line as Irving taps away. Lewis the run of the ball, taken out by Kemp, however. Gives a quick hand pass over towards Lamb, who kicks towards an open space on the right centre wing. Across comes Wilson with pace, but overruns the ball and allows Burke in. Burke kicks towards centre half forward. It's an awkward bounce, however, for a player there in Harding, but backed up well by Lowe. The hand passes on to Craven, 30 metres and closing, shouldn't miss, and doesn't. And well done, St Kilda, as they boot their 7th goal on the FAI insurance scoreboard. The Eagles are 12-7, and St Kilda, with sheer persistence, have moved to 7 goals.
They're working hard. Full merit to St Kilda in the first 8 minutes of this third quarter, and good effort by the big fellow, Lowe, as he tacked the ball on the ground and looked for the running player, Craven. They've been looking for running players right through the whole game so far, and they haven't been presenting themselves to Kilda, but on that occasion they did it well. Now
they're finding space in their forward line, as a matter of fact. All of a sudden they are starting to find space, and they're fighting back extremely well. What are they? 5 goals, 33 points out, are they? As we wait on the throwdown. Turley being kept quiet at this stage. A win by Hardings to Coghlan again. He can put on the boot, grubbers it out of the pack. Picked up by Mainwaring. He's here, there and everywhere and goes back to half forward. A chance for Sumich to run on the ball, but Morris leads him. Morris leads out towards left half back. Or Sumich kicks it out of his hands, but only across the face of ground and over the line and out of bounds. But it was better than letting Morris pick it up and kick it 60 metres up the ground, I suppose. So she's right half forward, or getting down towards that for the Eagles. They're still 80 metres out of their goal. We wait on the throw in. Paul Harding's a ruckman, so he taps to Craven, who got one far too high, and Craven on that left half back flank for the St Kilda side. He's getting into the game too. He's shaking Dwayne Nam a little bit at this particular stage, and he's gone out deep towards the left centre wing. Morris had dropped up there low. He's come down with Jakovic, accompanied him on this occasion, and saw the ball safely over the line and out of bounds. It's on the right centre wing for the Eagles, directly in front of the scoreboard, or the left centre wing for St Kilda. St Kilda going up to that three-tiered grandstand end at Subiaco Oval. Over the top comes Paul Harding. He taps it down, being picked up very quickly by Pike. He can't break with it, but Craven emerges with the smothered ball again. He's kicked down towards the Lowy direction. Lowy and Jakovic mix up. Well, Jakovic did it pretty well to get it down, but Lowy's recovery is excellent. Oh, his recovery is brilliant as he's dummied out. He's dummied out 2 or 3 times. It was Kitschke, was it? No, it was Lowy. The ball comes back. Davenport a chance. He's clever. Comes around a corner. McAdam's loose on his own at right half forward, and McAdam dropping away off the pack has been able to take the mark here, and there's a definite chance now for St Kilda to bring up yet another goal as we wait on McAdam to kick in. He's going to kick in from, I'd say he'll kick from probably just short of 50 metres. He's virtually just right of centre. He could have given the pass on that occasion too, as Lowy came away with the lead, but McAdam's decided he can kick the ground. He's kicked the ground but not the accuracy. The lead to Lowe should have been passed on, I think, and on that occasion a wasted opportunity. FAI Insurance scoreboard, the Eagles 12-7, St Kilda moved to 7-5.
Well, they're going to put Sumich back at full forward, and they're going to look like move McIntosh up onto a half forward flank and Langdon going into centre half forward. So there's a big gathering of the clan at centre half back. They move out, a chance for Brennan. He's created the open space. He's going to set. Kitschke's going to take him on. Well, must be interference, but the umpire says yes, and Brennan will take the free kick. But they're full of determination, St Kilda, and you've got to give them full credit the way they've come back so far in this quarter, as the Eagles now, from the boot of Brennan, go up towards the left centre wing. They're going to set. Lewis is under pressure. McAdam reads it well offhand. He gains possession, looks for a leading Lockett. He's going to set. Oh, beautiful. Used his body beautifully, Lockett. He led, saw the flight of the ball, propped. Lockyer ran straight into him, and Lockett has taken the mark.
Straight into his 15.5 stone.
Yep.
But he used his body
beautifully. He just propped, and the ball was out in front of him, Marty. There was no way in the wide world Lockyer was going to get to him.
Football knowledge is great.
Well, I tell you what, their quarter's been good. They've kicked 2-3 St Kilda, but they've been in attack all in this quarter, and we've been playing 11.5 minutes. So
they're not out of this game.
No, not. There's McAdam, and them all starting to strike and find open space, Percy. As we see Lockett comes in, he steadies and kicks. I tell you what, this is good. That's his 4th for the day. Lockett's bagged 4. St Kilda move on the FAI Insurance scoreboard to 8-5. They're trailing the Eagles 12-7.
Yeah, you'd say at this stage that the run's gone out of the Eagles' legs, but it certainly hasn't. Just the appearance it is, because St Kilda have taken it up to them.
Well, McAdam's a key player in this case, because he's starting to more than equalise with Mainwaring on this centre wing.
Both their rovers, Perth. I think Craven's
got more than his fair share of touches.
Yeah, but McAdam's come out on the wing and making it.
He has.
Right on the throw down again. Irving's still having to do battle. Who will relieve Irving when he needs a bit of a break?
That's right.
We wait on the throw down. At least the other side have got Kitschke lurking, and he's doing all right too, because he did get the ball forward a moment ago. We wait on the throw down. The ball leans back, a chance for Harding to get the ball through. Oh, Wilson picks it up, and he's throwing a hand pass long to half forward. Oh, Lewis is propped on that. He's at 50. Bullet-like he goes. The lead was to Sumich, but the interception was by Heddy, and Heddy is marked 25 metres out or 30 metres out directly in front. But on that occasion, you couldn't blame Rice, because really Heddy ran across the lead position as Sumich, didn't he?
I wonder whether the ball would have carried to Sumich, though. It wasn't a good kick virtually from Lewis.
No, it wasn't, but I think it was meant for Sumich.
Oh, yeah, it was. I agree with that.
I mean, you can't blame the backman because it was a missed kick.
That's right.
It's landed in the hands of a sliding across the face of a lead Brett Heddy. Now he can bring up 6. Been quiet as a church mouse since the first quarter, but why not? He kicked 5 in the first quarter, so we can bring up 6, and the Eagles need this to answer. He has kicked 6 on the FAI Insurance scoreboard. The Eagles are 13-7, St Kilda 8-5. Well, that stopped them, Marty.
They did, but what's the value of getting the ball out of the centre? One big crash, big hand pass, and over she goes, and while the whole forward line is open, and then good players can come to the fore on that occasion.
Well, that was Wilson, of course, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did it. Actually, they used a bit of a tactic today, the Eagles, where Wilson flying in over the packs, particularly from Brownlee throw-ins, and it's been quite effective where the two ruckmen have been trying to jostle one another. And On that occasion with the long hand pass, he said, "Hello, looks like Nathan Burke and Lewis want to have a go." Crikey, he's a fire eater, Lewis. And Nathan Burke's trying to push him up over the line to get him into the square now. And the boundary umpire watching it pretty closely. The bounce down takes place. Up they go. Harding goes up unattended, but coming through strongly as Langdon fires out a quick hand pass. There's a chance for Kemp to come up onto the ball. Culling very solidly is Coghlan. They draw a player out there. It looks like it's Cummings, but the ball is taken away by the Eagles from the Buddha Pike down towards the right half forward flank. Turley with pace gains possession, tries to hook the ball back in, and he's nearly brought it into effect, but it hits the behind post on the full, and the kick to be taken back into play by Danny Frawley. So the Eagles have made the move again. They've put Sumich back at full forward. They've got Langdon at centre half forward. This is Danny Frawley says, "I'm going to kick long and I'll go towards the left half back flank on the outer side of the ground." That's the way it goes. Big pack into the air. No mark. The ball to Craven. Hand pass is good to Morris. Out of trouble goes St Kilda as Morris boots forward to the left centre wing on the outer side of the ground as low charges across ground. Very quickly followed there by Jakovic, and the ball beats both players out of bounds. So St Kilda have worked it out of their defensive zone and have the ball forward of the left centre wing. Midway between left centre wing and left half forward flank on the outer side of the ground as 13-7 plays 8-5 on the FAI insurance scoreboard. Eagles in front as Harding tries to do the work. The ball comes out wide over towards Scott Waters, who's now on the ground. His hand pass is smothered by McAdam. He draws Mainwaring. The ball goes out over towards Burke, who's tackled strongly by Langdon. Comes free to Lewis. He looks for a leading player, and Hedy's got away from Rice again, and Hedy's taken the mark.
Almost like the Princess Margaret end of the ground, I think, Frank, this play.
I think so, because and he covers space, but the one thing about it was he was running into an open space on that occasion, and the ball was really hammered down into that position. So Hedy, 6 to his credit. We'll see whether he can bring up 7. Now, if he does, and he kicks his 7th and gives the Eagles the second goal for this quarter, they've kicked 2 straight, and St Kilda so far have kicked 3-3. So we'll wait on Brett Hedy. One thing about him, he always gets a lot of distance from the man on his mark, so he's giving himself a chance to line up the big one as he comes in. Going to steady. He kicks. The goal umpire looks at it and says, "What is it?" The crowd says, "I reckon it's a goal." So does the goal umpire. And the Eagles have steadied. They move on the FAI insurance scoreboard to 14 goals, 7. St Kilda are 8-5.
Not a bad effort for a flanker, is there? For a flanker, 7 on the board. Yep. 5 in the first quarter. 5 in the second quarter, but coming home. He reminds me of an old Footscray mate of mine, a champion, Harry Hickey. He's not as good as Hickey yet, but he will be. Great performance.
Well, Turley's starting to get back into the game too. The last 2 movements forward. I was only thinking at about the 12-minute mark that Turley had been quiet in this quarter and that Harvey was starting to do better. But I think the longer quarters go, then Turley runs better and he seems to shake his tag. We wait on the throwdown again. Dean Irving wins the tap away. On this occasion, it's Harvey who intercepts. He goes down to half forward. Thump back by, brilliant thump back by Jakovic. Lands in the heart of Scotty Waters. Scotty Waters gets out towards right half forward. A chance for McIntosh. He gives off to that man, Turley again. He's shaken the tackle and gone in from 50 towards the square, but on this occasion he's inaccurate and 1 point only results. So on the FAI insurance scoreboard, Eagles 14-7, St Kilda 8-6. I think you Export Lager bringing you this football to 3AW and 6PR.
Percy, I noticed now that Waters has got the job of tagging Craven, so Malthouse got onto that pretty quickly when he reckoned Craven was getting into the game as the ball brought into play by Rice as he goes out wide left half-back flank. The ball to the ground. Winmar a chance but can't control leather. Irving does. The hand pass is not good as it goes out towards Turley as Jeffrey breaks it up. Across ground they come over towards Harvey. The hand pass inboard over towards Burke. This is good football. Hand pass on to McMadden. He's had McCallum. He's had 2 bounces. He draws Brennan. Kicks to full forward. Up goes Lockyer. Up goes Lockett. And I tell you what, there is no way in the wide world can you play a man like Lockett from 5 yards behind him. Doesn't work.
What's he doing?
Anyway, I don't know.
Well, it's probably time for Michael Brennan to have a go at that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, he's now too far away and too much to the side.
That's right. And you know, Lockett has kicked what in this quarter? He's kicked 2, but he should have kicked 3. And he's kicking from practically the same place as he kicked the last behind. I don't reckon he'll miss on this occasion. He hasn't missed it. Straight through the middle. You know, they never should give the full forwards a second chance from the same place because they don't make the same mistake twice.
You've said it all, but the running performance by St Kilda up the ground then was McAdam straight down to the centre half forward position to Lockett, who caught Lockett just standing still. Ridiculous thing.
He's caught him like that on 4 occasions in this quarter. 14-8 plays 9-5 on the FAI Insurance scoreboard as you wait for the bounce in the centre of the ground.
And Burke's run out of defence is starting to be influential. It's a better quarter for St Kilda. As a matter of fact, now they look like the side that they are. That's a quality side. They're caught off balance in the first quarter. That's all I think happened as Irving goes in the area. He wins a tap away again. In goes Mainwaring, where Angels fear to tread, but he can't take the ball with him. And there's a free kick because they took his head off Mainwaring as he went in. And that was courage that put his body in there, and the overreaching took him to eye, and he's gone down the Sumich direction. Frawley's as close as you'd like to be. The thump away's good, but McIntosh runs onto it. He's only 45 metres out. He's put it on the left boot. He screwed it back over the right shoulder, but very wide. Over the line and out of bounds on the full in that left forward pocket for the Eagles, right back pocket for the St Kilda side. And Jeffrey to take the free kick. Looks for something to develop. I see Paul Harding out here deep out at right half back. He should be able to take the mark. No, carted over the line. The player went too deep with the ball, actually, Jeffrey, I thought. He made it pretty hard for Harding. He had to drop in over the top of Morris and 2 others. So she said left half forward for the Eagles. There's 70 metres out of goals on this left half forward flank. Harding's been interfered with on that occasion. The ball spills. Can Harvey go in now? Wilson for the Eagles side goes in. Turley taps, gets the ball tapped cleverly after Scotty Waters tap. In goes Peter Wilson for the Eagles. He's hurriedly put the ball on the left foot. There's a marking duel here by Lewis and Jeffrey. And Lewis has out-positioned his man and marked deep in the left forward pocket. 90-degree angle and played on quickly to where he's seen Carl Langdon slot in and lead. They've opened it out, but I'm not sure that Lewis from very steep with the right foot mightn't have been a better bet than Langdon left steep with the left foot.
The angle's better even for a left footer though.
No, Lewis is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
You know, of course I can say this because he doesn't have to prove me one way or the other, Frank, but Langdon has to kick. It's not the left footer's angle, but he shows me how good a kick he is as he plasters it straight through the middle of the goal. So on the FAI Insurance scoreboard, the Eagles are 15-8, St Kilda 9-5.
But you must compliment Lewis the way he used his body to take that mark. Oh, beautifully done it was.
Yeah. One of the other big things too, I think, the Eagles have shown the ability, Marty, to come back when St Kilda looked like that they were, starting to just run into a real bit of momentum there, didn't they?
Yeah, they didn't go back to have a sleep, the Eagles.
No.
They said, this is our go now. We've got to have a move. But St Kilda are in there giving everything they can and doing a good job too this quarter.
Righto, 15-8 plays 9-5, and let's see, we're at the 20.5-minute mark in this quarter of football as Irving and Harding again do battle again. Harding uses the body well to go into Irving. The ball comes out wide. Gee, Waters just tapped that away from the penetration of Winmar and allows the Eagles to kick towards centre half forward. Lewis is on a half forward flank. Good ball control. Good football by Nathan Burke. He threw everything at Lewis then to bring him to the ground. The ball's socked away. Burke's got a chance again. Very close to the boundary line. Went out over the line. That was a bit unfortunate, but gee, what a brilliant piece of work it was to really put Lewis under pressure. So the ball is out of bounds. Eagles left half forward flank on the grandstand side, and they're kicking towards the Princess Margaret Hospital end of the ground as he wait now on Wilson's going to do the work, and he backs into Harding and he gets the tap. The ball, however, rolls free. Jeffrey tries to shepherd to give Grant a chance. Tackled by Langdon. Oh boy. Got to get a free kick.
I tell you what, Langdon stomped that man a little bit too.
Yeah, he did a little bit, but
sooner or later he's going to hurt someone, this man. But he can be enthusiastic to an extreme,
or get hurt himself.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a stomp. Grant was still on the ground in a defenceless position, and
you straight at him, didn't he?
Yeah, your feet are very, very lethal weapons, and no wonder you have people wanting to get angry at this fella when he's playing against them.
Okay, we'll see what he'll do now from about 45 metres out. He steadies. He kicked the last one. I tell you what, he's very close. No, did what looked like it was going to go through, but didn't. And it was only the 1 point was the result. So the Eagles on the FAI Insurance scoreboard moved to 15-9. St Kilda 9-5. And Wilson, terrifically, even when he backed into Harding, then he still got the tap.
Yeah, he's doing well. Anyway, the ball's been brought in by Morris. He's gone out towards left half back. Danny Frawley slotted there, but well done, Chris Mainwaring. Over the top he came as Danny Frawley was backing back for the mark, and the little Mainwaring came over the top and thumped for the security of the line. It's 70 metres over on that right half forward flank away from the Eagles' goals as Paul Harding does battle again, taps it through to Coughlin. He puts it through, but Scotty Waters slots onto the ball, goes quickly to Turley, and elusive Turley goes quickly to Dwayne Lamb on that typical quick kicking left boot. He pops it on the boot, and Langdon marks. What's he going to do? He charges on quickly, and the slot on the boot over the right shoulder, roly-poly kick has been read off the boot brilliantly by Hetty, and he's marked 25 metres out virtually directly in in front.
You know, Percy, that's the secret of keeping your eye on the ball all the time as far as Eddie's concerned.
He never ever has his eyes off the footy. Never ever has his eyes.
He couldn't have taken that mark like that.
No, but he reads the ball off the boot, and that's why, Frank, because he's even watching the ball wherever the ball is on the ground. He's never got his back to the plate. His eyes are on the ball, and Low Rice is playing him as close as you like. Still, you do have to play in between him and the man with the ball a bit, I think, and Rice at the moment is playing a little bit caught behind him, but that's probably because Hedy's jumping him. I won't criticise Rice. I'll rather make the point that Hedy has been brilliant in reading, because he's coming up for his, what, his eighth goal, and the Eagles 16th. That
you've got him 7 in your program, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got 7 at the moment.
You haven't got it.
Yeah, here it is now, and he's got 8. I think he's still only got 7. I've got 7 in the program. That's all he's got. He missed what he should have kicked.
But it's still live too. You haven't got a pen.
15. And I can't write. 15-10, the Eagles from the AI Insurance Corporate saying Kilda 9-5, and you can go back to Victoria Marty.
Okay, well, Russell Morris is going to kick the ball into play now. There's a lead on very short there from Coghlan. Well, Morris is shading the sun from his eyes, and gee, there's a lead given out here, and he should kick it in this direction because Harding got away from Irving on that occasion, and Harding has taken a mark.
But nothing in the middle of the ground to present itself, Frank, is there? Look,
no, nothing. That's the problem that they've got now. Harding's a bit undecided what to do. They're not moving the ball quick enough out of defence, and there's a big pack of players up towards that left centre wing on the outer side. Down it comes down low, look for it, but it was knocked away by Jakovic. They go towards centre half forward, the Eagles. Oh, dear me. Under pressure there, a player there in Coghlan. Morris tried to gain possession. They've finally worked it out over towards Nathan Burke. He goes towards the right centre wing. Waterman and Davenport. He hasn't had many touches today, Davenport, but he's taken on by Waterman and gets in a short kick down towards that right half forward flank she goes. But McKenna comes in together with Pekin, and the ball has been forced over the line. So waiting on the ball to come into play. Gee, there's no ruckman down there. Kitschke's going to do it. He's going to do the ruck work. Looks like it's going to be main wearing. Goodness me, Kitschke goes in. In the meantime, there's been interference to the big fella. I suppose that's about the only thing they can do.
Yeah, that was a Shepherd, Frank, and you called that good because there was no Eagles big men there.
No, so Kitschke has the ball on the right half, up towards forward of the right half, right centre wing, I should say, up towards a pack of players. They look for a player there in low, but the ball stumped away in defence by the Eagles over the line, and a throw in right on the 50-metre mark as the St Kilda team go up towards the Subiaco end of the ground. The ball into play. Low to do the ruck work. Palms away. It's straight down the throat of Pike. Pike goes for the hand pass to Jakovic and finds him. Jakovic steady as a rock in defence. Brings the ball towards the centre of the ground. Morrison, McIntosh, no mark. Jeffrey backs up. Oh, they muck up one another there, St Kilda on that occasion. Jeffrey certainly emptied Morris out of the way, and luckily for St Kilda on that occasion, the umpire has decided to bounce the ball, but that was not enough talky as far as St Kilda was concerned, and they mucked up a good opportunity. 15-10 plays 9-5 as we wait for the ball to be bounced.
Right centre wing for St Kilda. Paul Harding works his butt off again and wins the tap away on this occasion to McAdam. He's been brilliant. The hand pass is good to Davenport. Davenport goes over the top to Harvey. He's too slow and put off the ball by a brilliant working guy, McKenna, who sees the ball out of Harvey's hands and safely over the line and out of bounds. But the St Kilda side have worked the ball a bit closer. They're about 90 metres out of goals on this right, towards this right half forward flank now. Harding into the air, tap down on that occasion to Davenport again. He's under pressure. Can he shrug it? He goes to Craven, under pressure immediately from Dwayne Lamb. The ball spills back to Nicky Winmer. He got a fit of the skids on that occasion. That's allowed Waterman in. He sockers forward to Wilson. Slippery up there because Wilson's gone to deck, going through on that occasion. But Wilson was grabbed too high. He was a bit lucky because he slid down, and with the skid, Grant's hands went over his shoulder. Wilson on the left centre wing, showing people that he has a sore ear, kicks away towards the centre half forward position in the direction of Scotty Waters dropping back. The ball spills. Gee, Langdon slipped, and then Jeffrey missed it. Langdon can go back now. One to cock the hand pass. Instead of that, has decided to kick. But he was pushed in the back as he kicked. And Langdon, 45 metres out of goals to take the free kick.
He's been a bit of a live wire across that half forward line this quarter,
He's playing better at centre half forward now, Frank, because he's not running so far up the ground now. He's more available at centre half forward, and they've restructured that a little bit. I mean, he's kicked a goal this quarter. He could have kicked another one, and there's a chance for him to kick a second. But he'll have to kick in, I reckon, from 48 metres. But this is directly in front.
Thought the umpire was a bit kind to him then.
It's as straight as a gumbo. Well, I didn't see it, Marty, because I followed the ball off the boot looking for what would happen further down. I think Frawley would have got the ball because he was on the lead. Langdon's now gone in and kicked deep, and he's kicked it right through the middle. He's banged it right through the middle. So on the FAI Insurance scoreboard, the Eagles have got 16-10, St Kilda 9-5.
Yes, well, I thought it was a lucky goal, but nevertheless...
Well, I mean, the point about it was that, if you remember there was a pack of players at centre-half forward there for the Eagles, and it looked like that St Kilda would gain possession, because Langdon looked like he'd slipped, but just as the St Kilda player Harding went to gain the ball, he slipped over too, and Langdon recovered and was interfered with.
You think Jeffrey's a bloke to play centre-half back? Because that's virtually because he's had to line up on Langdon, because Morris has had to grab McIntosh.
Yeah. I think it would have been better if it was the other way.
I would have left Morris at centre-half back, because he's more that type of player than a flanker.
Okay, so the bounce down on the centre now is... the umpire got in the way of Harding then, but Irving got the tap, but it was taken out of the centre by St Kilda's player there, and Harvey, and a good mark in defence there taken by Jakovic. Oh, he's covered himself with glory today. This boy,
he's a good player, this boy. Believe me, he is the best young player the Eagles have got.
So he goes out wide towards the right centre wing. Well, he'll have to be pretty good out there, McIntosh. It's a 2-1 situation. Lamb comes in to lend a hand. He's got the run of the ball. McIntosh, good shepherding, and allows him to come through, and Lamb gains possession. Tackled strongly by Winmar, but Lamb gets in his kick over towards Turley. Line turns beautifully out of a pack, wants to draw a player, tried to do too much. Langdon compliments him, gains possession to spin onto the left boot, up the right full forward pocket. Here we go. Lewis comes in front of Nathan Burke, and sliding to the ground has taken the mark.
He reads that ball, a decent heading on him, but read the ball off the boot like they wrote the book.
It was no rush. Waterman's barged down from the half-back flank. Waters has given a short one. He goes for it. Oh, he's taken a one-hander. No, he's taken on by Craven. The ball to the ground. Interference, says the umpire. Craven had the front berth. Now there's going to be a 50-metre penalty as Langdon got the ball and tried to kick it in towards the goals. He definitely heard the whistle.
And Lewis told him too.
Yep, and that was, it was a bit unfortunate, because the ball from Lewis, the idea was right, but he kicked it a bit too high for Waters, and he couldn't take the mark.
Another soft free kick, though.
Yep.
So Waters would have to grow to mark that, really, wouldn't he?
Should have. Okay, so they go across field over towards Jeffrey. As Mainwaring comes down to try and block the lead. They draw McAdam. Well, McAdam was only going half pace. Waited for the ball to bounce, and allowed Mainwaring to close on him. The ball goes close to the right centre wing, been forced over the line, and the Eagles have got a chance now to close the gap.
Yeah, but that was McAdam's only mistake for the quarter. He did wait for the ball, expecting it to roll, but it didn't. It stopped and propped. We wait on the throw in directly on the right centre wing for St Kilda. Dumped away on this occasion by Kitschke, who follows his path, but he was robbed of it by Mainwaring, who goes very quickly to Michael Brennan. On this left centre wing for the Eagles, he screwed it back in the McIntosh-Morris direction. Morris has put McIntosh out of business, picked up the loose ball and gone back towards the right half forward flank, where Coughlin reads the depth of the kick well. He was going to cock the hands and throw a hand pass, but did not move an inch over the mark. And the umpire has said they're working it up towards right half forward play. And have a look at how far Lockett is in front on this occasion. The kick's gone wide from him. He's left the ball behind. The Eagles' numbers are excellent, because Kemp came down to support, and Kemp mopping up, picks the ball up and kicks out wide towards that right centre wing. Now here's a race. Harding and Lockyer. Swooping on it is Nicky Winmar. What brilliance. But Lockyer, you followed up brilliantly. He's picked the ball up on the right centre wing for the Eagles. He's got the draw. He can go through to Dwayne Lamb. Dwayne Lamb can penetrate through centre half forward. He looks for a lead on this occasion. McIntosh has got stretchy arms. They pulled out of the socket. He was under the ball. How you can reach like that? The only way you can, you got to be 18. You got to be 18, otherwise you break your arms out.
And you got to be good.
And you got to be good.
Yeah, well, he is good, this kid.
Well, look, but what rebound like from Lockyer, but Winmar, that was a beautiful one-handed pick-up, but he was going that fast, the ball went in front of him.
Yeah, what about the effort of Harding? Chasing him all that way, the poor fellow, he's got to go line up in the ruck.
Yeah, but it was lovely football all round, and there's the siren as we wait on young Ashley McIntosh to finish the quarter with a shot on goals from just right of centre, the left foot of Steadies. He pokes it at and in. So that's the 17th goal for his third. The Eagles on the FAI Insurance scoreboard at three-quarter time, 17-10, lead St Kilda 9-5.
And that third quarter of footy came to you on 6PR 3AW football. 5-2 to Craven and one apiece to McAdam and Brian Wilson. Percy, a real good quarter of football in that quarter. There was only 9 goals kicked between the two sides. The Eagles, after a slow start, bagged 5 and St Kilda kicked 4.
Well, while I was just sitting in this break, while we were waiting to cross back to both 6PR listeners and 3AW listeners, I was just thinking what a good job Nathan Burke did when he was put back from a wing to that half-back flank, because he saw Matera taken off the ground after Matera looked very threatening in the early part of the game, and really the St Kilda defence has stuck to their task extremely well. You know, it's just been the flood of opportunities it's allowed, like Hetty's read the ball so brilliantly off the boot in that particular quarter to let him just get a half an inch in front of Rice. That's all there was to it. McIntosh has played strongly. Well, Morris has done a good job, but McIntosh, just by sheer, God-given skill, they've been able to make the break. I thought it was an interesting quarter because McAdam lifted sensationally on
a wing.
Yeah, on one wing. Previously, the Eagles had controlled on all parts across the centre except for Nicky Winmar. But in that quarter, with Nicky Winmar still doing well, and now McAdam coming to the fore and more than equalising with Mainwaring, they could push their ball up to their forward line a little bit. But there's where the Eagles did well, and it was young Jakovic. I mean, the ball went through Lowe on that occasion 4 times directly. Lowe is renowned for his marking ability. I'd like to know how many marks he's taken today, because he averages 14 a game. Well, he hasn't done that today.
Correct.
And some of young Jakovic is spoiling in that quarter. One thump away from centre-half back, lob back to the centre of the ground, and the Eagles made play when Wilson grabbed the ball in that situation. But it all boils down to now the Eagles controlling out of the middle of the ground. When they do that, there's no hope for St Kilda, because they're running in just floods, and young Kemp and these players are running. But if St Kilda through Paul Harding and Craven and company and Harvey can keep pushing out of the centre, I thought St Kilda were very competitive in that quarter, and Lockett was a highlight in the quarter again, because he found himself able to get away from a Lockyer who wanted to play away from him and jump on him. Yeah. But thereby Lockett made the ball go further to the space away from where Lockyer was standing, and it was good play by the St Kilda's users of the ball, and McAdam was a highlight to me.
I tell you what, and there was some fine individual pieces of football too, Marty. A couple of the goals or chances that Hetty had, and Winmar's one-handed pick-up that he nearly was electrifying, just couldn't handle the ball properly, and Lockyer was able to bring it back for the Eagles. A fantastic game.
It was a very exciting quarter, that one. 5 goals.
You should mention Langdon too, shouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, it's going into centre-half forward. He made a big difference there, because he started to play the centre-half forward position the right way and gave the Eagles something to kick to at that centre-half forward position. Well, the crowd are alive. They've been going mad with the Mexican wave right through the three-quarter time break, and the last quarter about to get underway with the Eagles holding a 53-point advantage. So Irving rucked very, very strongly today for the West Coast Eagles. He's done a man-sized job there. He's taken on Kitschke, he's taken on Harding, and has had to work very hard, but done it very, very effectively indeed. So we wait on the bounce down on the centre of the ground now, as the umpire's just getting ready now for... I see the St Kilda have got Wilson back on the ground. He should be fresh as paint. He's had about 2 touches before he was taken off.
And I think you're waiting for the television cross or something,
I think the momentum just got Wilson. He just couldn't really handle it. But let's have a look. It sees that Morris is watching McIntosh still, and Jeffrey is watching Langdon. Strange move on the part of Sheldon, because Morris had played quite strongly at centre-half back for the majority of the 2.5 quarters. So away we go now as Harding gets the tap away, the ball rolling down, lower chance, in goes Coghlan under pressure, tries to get it back to the backup of Harding, who's under pressure. He knocks it out very well over towards Jeffrey, who's come downfield. He pops it up high into an open... Oh, crikey, here we go again. Lockyer, well, he's 20 metres behind Lockett on that occasion, and Lockett has gone up to take the mark. That was good use of the ball, but
oh, yeah, agreed. You know, that Jeffrey switched the ball right across the ground to get it to that fellow.
I'm not disputing that at all. All I'm saying is that, to me, Lockyer should not have been that far behind Lockett if he's playing full back on him. But still, I'm not taking anything away from the way the guy kicked the ball. Lockett goes back from 50 metres. That's a beautiful kick from Tony Lockett. Through from Major. He bags his 6th for the day and moves St Kilda into double figures to move to 10 goals 5, trailing the Eagles 17 goals 10.
In defence of Lockyer, I know he's not playing the full-back position correctly, Frank. I was reading where Ross Glendinning claims that Lockett is very fast for the first 6 or 7 metres, and he's very hard to hold, and he jumps away quickly. Very deceiving in his size.
Paul Harding did very well in that centre bounce when he knocked back to Jeffrey when he was on the ground. That's what I like about Harding, his second effort.
He's worked well, Percy, since he came on the ground.
Yeah, well, they're what I make a ruckman to me. You know, what they do after the ball leaves the hands, and Paul Harding is exemplary in this area, because he never takes his eyes off. He follows the ball like he was down the deck because his feet skidded from underneath him, but still presence of mind to tap back. But good play by Jeffrey, who ran hard from half back to present.
Somebody souvenired the ball, so we're getting another ball on the ground.
Yes, well, that's not a bad idea. Hope it was a kid and they keep kicking it. Harding's won the tap away again. Coming in strongly is Lowe. He can't take the mark. Going in was Scotty Waters, who went back to Jakovic. Jakovic kicks out towards the left centre wing. Mainwaring and Wilson lock up there. Wilson taps over to Mainwaring. Mainwaring's put off the ball by Grant. Play on, says the umpire. The ball eventually comes out to Dwayne Lamb, but too late, she cried, because the free kick will go to Paul Harding again, and just backward of that right centre wing, and all back to right right half-back. Harding's taken the marker now, goes out wide to where he finds McAdam again. He's got space to burn over there. He's getting on top of Mainwaring, goes down towards his right half-forward back on that occasion. Low in front, takes the strong mark, hands out in front of the bodies. He came to meet the ball, the big strong hands, kicks in strongly in the direction of the right forward pocket. The ball fills. There's a ton of Eagles around the ball, and it's picked up very quickly by Pike, who goes to Lockyer, who nearly lost it. Mopping up well, and good defensive numbers come very quickly as the ball comes out towards the right half-back flank from Scotty Waters in the direction of Kemp. Kemp can't take the mark. Burke working in with the numbers are Eagles' way again as Waterman goes to Turley. The overlaps on as they go to Kemp. Kemp comes through the middle of the ground. He looks for Heady. He looks for Sumich. Frawley puts Sumich off the ball, works strongly, tries to go back to Morris. Morris works his way strongly with strength through a pack, then with balance as he comes around the tackle. Hand passes out towards the centre pack position to Paul Harding, who's lurking in defence. He goes up to the middle of the ground where he finds Harvey, and Harvey now directly in the middle of the ground plays on. He dummies inside the tackle, goes with a hand pass to McAdam. McAdam still lively. He'll go long to Lockett. Where's Lockett? Where's Lockyer? Did it well, Lockyer, this occasion. Taps down to Irving, who supported. Irving uses the ball well out towards left half back to Dwayne Lamb. He can get the draw over the top of the long hand pass to Chris Mainwaring, who fumbles, doesn't handle it all well. Will the ball go to line? Fumbles again. Comes with a hand pass and misses, totally misses Turley. Goes again to Paul Harding. Paul Harding screws back towards that right centre wing to where McAdam can get the run of the ball. Dwayne Lamb working his insides out. Lowe goes in, decides to hand pass along the ground to Coughlin. Backed up by Lowe. Lowe's decided to use his pace. Goes the bounce once. Well played, Jakovic. He puts him under pressure, forces him to kick wildly, and the mop-up is by Pike. Very quickly to Jakovic. He shows he's got pace as he sprints through centre back, and good shepherding on play by Brennan behind the play, but the kick is intercepted again by Harding on that right centre wing.
Harding playing very well indeed too. He brings the ball inboard as Morris compliments him, shrugs a tackle. Morris gets the hand pass, comes around onto the right boot and drives with depth into the forward area. Irving's gone into the space where Lockett could have led into. Irving marks, holds up yet another St Kilda attack as he goes wide towards the right centre wing. A chance now for Nathan Burke as Hart, who's come onto the ground, slips over, and Burke on the left centre wing now towards the centre of the ground is looking for leads downfield. Low signals being watched pretty strongly there by Jakovic. The kick is not good. It drops to Wilson. Wilson spars for a free kick. I tell you what, he's playing from memory now. Wilson, as Kemp comes in, gains possession for the Eagles and goes towards the right centre wing where Turley and Burke are opposed. Turley uses body well to take Burke off the ball. It's picked up quickly by McIntosh. Gives it into Langdon. Down the centre of the ground goes Hart. He's fresh. 50 metres and closing. The kick is not good. In towards the left full forward pocket goes the ball. Oh, good use of the body by Heady. He empties Pekin out of the way. Shrugs a tackle from Farley. Gives it to Sumich. Sumich unattended. Goes to an open goal and kicks his first for the day.
Wow.
So on the FAI insurance scoreboard, the Eagles are 18 goals 10, St Kilda 10-5, and unselfish play by Turley by Heady on that occasion.
I don't know the crowd, but cheering Heady then for his unselfish play by beautifully using his body and then handballing the ball over to Sumich, and Sumich and the crowd lift themselves when Sumich kicked his first goal for the day.
But you know,
what great play by Brett Heady.
Oh, was it? I mean, he drew the whole of the St Kilda defence, didn't he?
Yeah, but not only that, the way he put Pekin off Peach, you know, I mean, the way she used of his body was tremendous stuff. There's a throw down again. Harding dominates at the centre bounce here. Gets it down the Coughlin direction. He's got a fit of the fumbles again, so that's allowed Scotty Waters to drop in on the ball. But Coughlin follows up with a great smother. The ball spills quickly to Craven. Craven on the right boot. Oh, gee, Michael Brennan dropping back to the ball. And that was a lovely controlling mark under the most difficult circumstances by Michael Brennan on that left half-back flank for the Eagles. And here's Irving being able to slot ahead of the play. And a true centre half-back, Dean Irving, has taken the mark and will go. Oh, good smother again by Nicky Winmar. Scotty Waters swoops on the loose ball. He breaks clear with good balance, Scotty Waters, and kicks high towards his half-forward position. McIntosh Morris, here's a battle. The ball spills. Again, a chance for Burke, who's been exemplary in this second half of the game as he's kicked thoroughly down towards the left centre wing. The hand pass by Dwayne Lamb goes to McIntosh. He goes to Langdon, put under pressure by Craven. But here's Scotty Waters again now starting to link plays. He goes with a hand pass out to Waterman. Waterman forced to kick with the right boot. It's a wobbly thing. And going back with the play is Harvey, and he's marked in the left back pocket for the St Kilda side and plays on quickly. Plays on quickly to Grant up towards left half back, and Grant takes the mark. No hesitancy here as he plays on through the middle of the ground. He goes again. He looks in the direction of Kitschke. This time he's got on the top of Brennan directly in the middle of the ground. The big fella Kitschke's taken the mark. Decides to play on. He's looking for a draw. He's drawn to Nicky Winmar. Nicky Winmar penetrates down towards centre half forward. He looks for the leader Lockett, and he's found it. Yards to burn and acres to spare out at right half forward. 45 metres out of goals. The big fella Tony Lockett receives from Winmar. I wonder how many times commentators have said that when they've been calling football.
Didn't he pass it beautifully?
Yes, he did. It was a good drawing situation by the big fella Kitschke, just the same too.
Yeah.
You know, he did that extremely well. Anyway, Tony Lockett will kick in. He'll kick from 48. He's kicked 6 on my book, Frank. Is that right?
Yep.
Well, now he can kick 7, and that's a good effort by this big bloke.
Out of 10, or out of 11 if he kicks this one.
He's done it extremely well. You know, he's played extremely well, but why not? He is a giant, he is a champion, and he's kept his cool all day too. Beautiful kicking action as he's plastered it, but he's missed
that one.
Yes, he's
tried too hard.
Yeah, he might have tried too hard. Anyway, in the FAI Insurance Scoreboard, the Eagles are 18-10, St Kilda got to 10-6.
Okay, and we've been playing, coming up to the 7.5-minute mark in this last quarter of football, as he went on the ball now to be brought into play by Don Pike.
He's kicked the ball in all day, Frank.
Yeah, and has been quietly effective the way he's played too. So he brings the ball in out towards the left half-back flank on the outer side. They set up, go the big pack. They're all up, nobody down. Mainwaring is Crumbs. He gains them. Penetration from Waterman from a half-back flank to drive up towards centre-half forward, but nobody at home there for the Eagles. And Jeffrey has taken the mark. Well, he goes there. Oh, he looked for the leader. Craven, he lost sight of the ball. Taken by Mainwaring. Taken on by McAdam. He kicks, and Nathan Burke has taken the mark in defence for the St Kilda team. So Burke now going to kick out wide towards the right centre wing. The jeweller's on. Harding must mark. He's knocked. The ball is knocked away from him by Mainwaring. A chance for Scott Waters to come in, but the ball beats him over the line, and it's throw-in to take place.
Showing a bit of form, Waters.
Yes, he is too. 19-10 or 18-10 plays 10-6 as he went on the ball to come into play. Harding, who's worked very hard, is going to be taken on by Sumich, and Harding gets the tap. The run of the ball, a chance for McAdam. In goes Rice, overruns the ball. Picked up quickly by Turley. Over towards Waters. Hand passes on over towards Lamb. Up towards centre-half forward go the Eagles, and sliding to the ground is Hart to take the mark. Well, he looked like he was going to hand pass on to Waters, but instead of doing that, he's going to look for the leader, Lewis. Lewis sets. He's taken on by Frawley. In comes Sumich. Tried a fresh air kick. The ball in defence by St Kilda. Crumbs go to Waters. Waters dummies. Goes left. Comes back onto the right boot and plants it through from Asia to the West Coast Eagles to move them to 19 goals, 10 on the FAI Insurance Scoreboard. St Kilda are 10 goals, 6.
Yes, well, the effort of Waters was good. He's a well-balanced little fellow. He ducked one side, then the other, and finally lined up the goals and banged it through. But another good team effort by the Eagles. It looks like St Kilda's coming back at them, and suddenly they rejuvenate themselves and show the game what pace is all about. And the Eagles have still got plenty of miles in their legs.
Yes, well, it's good use of the interchange too, because Waters and Hart are both very fresh players, and he's been able to get away with that. And it's a good idea to have running players coming in late, I reckon. What a monster!
Particularly across your forward line too.
Yeah, what a monstrous job Dean Irving's done. He wins this tap away again, gets it down to Dwayne Lamb. Dwayne Lamb very quickly over to Peter Wilson. Peter Wilson kicks out towards left half forward. Mainwaring can run on it, but the bounce is cruel. Comes back to McAdam. McAdam is elusive as he goes to Grant. Grant can draw again. He comes over the top to Jeffrey. He's a little bit elusive as he dummies inside the tackle and goes with a hand pass to Paul Harding. They're right through the middle of the ground. The Harding penetration is long in the Lockett direction. He's taken front first. Oh, read brilliantly off hands by Wilson. Wilson over the left shoulder with the right boot. Miles and acres to burn, and they'll remember the crowd of the West Australians, because when he was here with Melbourne, he sort of showed a couple of hands in the air as he was coming off the ground, and they just returned the compliment to Wilson. Anyway, it's out of bounds in that left back pocket now. Lockyer to bring it back into play. Gee, coming down the middle of the ground far too easy was Michael Brennan. I see Kemp sliding across here, and deeper still is Waterman, and that's where he'll go, Brennan, because he's got lovely vision. There it was, I told you that, and he found him. Waterman's juggled, put under pressure by Davenport, but he's elusive and clever enough, and he got support from Kemp. He's drawn and gone back to Kemp. Kemp shepherded first, then received the hand pass. Now the lead from Langdon down towards right half forward, and Langdon's come in and taken the mark. No, he hasn't. Burke intercepted that, but the numbers are Eagles' way again as Hart draws. He goes to Dwayne Lamb. He'll run to 50. Kicks with a wobbly kick in towards the square. Now here's Hetty Peakin. Hetty's put Peakin off deck again. He's recovered. He's gone brilliantly to Lewis. Lewis has gone to Sumich, and from 1 metre, Sumich has kicked his second. So on the FAI Insurance Scoreboard, the Eagles have got their 20th. 20 goals, 10 on the FAI Insurance Scoreboard. St Kilda at 10-6.
Marty, what quick hands of Hetty with the hand pass.
Yeah, backed up by Lewis's quick hands too, aren't they?
Yeah.
Sharp, beautiful hand ball it was.
Well, Lockett will be saying up the other end, blimey, I've kicked the bag. What's he kicked? 6. And I've
6, yeah.
Yeah, and I've worked my butt off to get him, and Sumich has done nothing. He's got 2 screamy hand passes.
It's a pity Lockett hasn't got the kind of players around him, the same ilk.
But Hetty is just putting Peakin off his feet. Why has he put Peakin back on Hetty after that first quarter?
Bad move.
Hard to understand. Anyway, away go. The bounce down in the centre. Irving goes up unattended, knocks the ball away. It's knocked on by Wilson. It's going to roll free. Harding overruns it. Craven doesn't. He's backed up by Harvey. Harvey moves to left half forward flank. We're coming downfield. Oh, Pike is taking on his immediate opponent here in Wilson. The ball goes to the ground. Wilson tries to hand pass into no man's land. Waterman says thank you. Goes for a long hand pass. He's found Pike. Pike works the ball now with the right boot up towards the right half forward flank. Looks for Turley, who's interfered with. In goes Hart. The ball rolls free. Harvey comes in to compliment St Kilda, but his kick is not good and goes over the line on the full.
They're under monstrous mental pressure.
Are they ever? So the kick back into play is going away at Dwayne Lamb to the right half forward flank. Up went Head. He couldn't mark the ball to the ground. Very quickly Turley goes in. He's going to be bundled ball and all over the line, and a throw-in will take place just forward of the 50-metre line. Just behind the 50-metre line, I should say. So Brett Heady, got into the air high, then nearly took a good chest mark as the ruck work's going to be done by Sumich, and he goes up into the air. Wilson tries to come over the back of the pack. It's knocked away by Langdon, picked up by Craven for St Kilda, up towards the right centre wing, and down comes Brennan. Gee, he hasn't put a foot wrong today, Brennan. Goes onto the right left boot, looks for the lead of Langdon. That's the way it goes, up towards full forward. Lewis is going to take on his immediate opponent there in Frawley. That's a gem. A real strong mark under pressure there by Danny Frawley, who's played soundly in defence today for St Kilda to hold up that Eagle attack. Well, Frawley saying, please move, give me something to kick at. So he goes wide towards the right half-back flank looking for Harding. It looks like McAdam and Mainwaring are going to take on one another, and the umpire says, give it to me, and it'll be a bounce down. 20 goals, 10 plays 10-6, and we've been playing 13 minutes in this last quarter of play. So I noticed that Jeffrey's coming off the ground, and going back on again for St Kilda is Cummings. As from the bounce down, it comes out the way of Harvey, who continues to work hard, goes for an open space there, but Lowe couldn't run into it. Jakovic did, dummies around onto his left boot, and then kicks the ball with depth towards the left half forward flank, where they're all up, nobody down. In they went. There's been interference, and the first one that was interfered with was Morris. The second player that was interfered with was Hart, and the free kick goes the way of the St Kilda defender. So it's Russell Morris.
Where's he going?
He's going to make Davenport work hard. Lewis has taken him on, knocks the ball away cleverly. Well, in they go. Pekin and Davenport collide. Heady picks up the crumbs. He's kicking towards up towards centre half forward. Sumich couldn't mark. Knocks the ball into the open over towards Heady, who takes on Grant. They look for Winmar. Kemp runs into a bundle of trouble. Winmar tackles a little bit too high, according to the umpire.
Oh, that was very dicey.
Very weak one.
Because he got caught holding the ball because he dropped it. Anyway, there it is. So midway between centre and centre half forward. There's a lead on, one on from Lewis, one on from Hart. The ball spills to the deck. Burke relieves pressure back into the centre of the ground, but big fella Irving's double banking. He overruns the ball. So does Lamb. Picked up quickly there by a player there in who's that coming in? Oh, Rice, that's right. Gains possession. Up towards full forward they go as Lockett punches away from in front of Lockett. The ball bounces awkwardly, but down charges Lockett. Fends off one player, fends off another, fires in a long hand pass looking for Cummings. He knocks the ball further downfield. The backup is on by Coghlan. He steadies, he shoots. Good individual effort by Lockett, pioneered that goal, and Coghlan finished it off. The Eagles are 20-10. St Kilda moved to 11 goals, 6, and we've been playing 14 and a half minutes.
It was a tonic to see Lockett come so far up the ground.
He was a
present himself right in the middle of the pack, palm two fellas off of strength, and utilised the handball beautifully, and the ultimate goal came from him, of course.
Yeah, it was an absolutely barging bull, wasn't he? Yeah, and he was a determined barging bull.
But he was in command of the performance.
Yeah, he was.
He knew what he was doing.
It was marvellous play, Marty.
Yep.
It was marvellous play.
And a good hand pass.
It was a sensible hand pass.
And a left-hand hand pass, too.
Yeah, no, the man is full of skill and flair and ability. Anyway, Emu Export Lager are bringing you this along with Synova's Vitamins and Australian Post. Into the air goes Paul Harding, taps again, but Scotty Waters reads it like a book, pulls out towards right half forward, running onto the ball is Sumich. The bounce is not kind. Hart backs up. In goes Morris. Morris does it well. He's been a key player. Goes for the hand pass to Frawley at centre back. Out wide, he goes over to Grant. Grant tries to run off. Good support by McAdam. They've worked the ball towards the right centre wing. He's a balanced player, McAdam, as he penetrates now towards the low direction. Dropping back is Coghlan. Over the top comes the clever Jakovic. He taps down to McKenna. He's been quiet, but he backed up extremely well, and he's balanced as he swerved around a tackle. Plays on very quickly to the leader, Langdon. Good use of the ball. Langdon threads off non-stop football as he goes to Kemp. Kemp sees the leader, Sumich, but again the interception is by Grant. He's cocked the hands. Player says the umpire as he comes through centre back and goes up to Harding in the middle of the ground. He's been a key player, Harding. He plays out wide to where he first sees the drop off of Nicky Winmar. Nicky Winmar is taken on very quickly by Waterman. The ball spills to Cummings. Cummings goes very quickly where he goes very quickly to Rice. Rice under pressure kicks it straight up in the air. The Eagles have numbers. Brendan comes down. He looks for Langdon. Langdon should go to Turley, but no, Frawley puts that off and Rice goes back again as he draws and goes through the middle of the ground to Craven. They're playing pretty well now, St Kilda, and Craven comes out on the lead. He's looking out there towards half forward to Wilson, where he finds Wilson marking in front of his immediate opponent, Pike. And Wilson is marked directly at the 50-metre line. He'll kick from 55. Pike standing on the 50-metre line. He's looking for the leader, Lockett. Dean Irving's dropped back there to support Lockyer. So now, Wilson, you're taking too long. It's a stutter, stammer, and never kick it situation.
Harvey's even gone down there on his own.
Yeah, taken too long. He should have taken it off.
McAdam was there too as we wait now. Wilson, he's decided to kick a wobbly spiral torpedo. Irving comes in over the top. You can see Lockett said, I've had enough of you. Dropping to the ground is a clever McAdam. He comes with a hand pass, looks for Cumming. He can't handle. In goes Dean Irving again to relieve pressure. Good work by a big strong ruckman. Belts the ball out. 60 metres out towards the centre of the ground. Putting Wilson off. Peter Wilson put his immediate opponent Grant off the ball and then dummies away to the left centre wing, and then a foolish hand pass goes straight back to Grant. Grant goes to Wilson. Wilson on the overlap comes back to Grant. Grant penetrates through the middle of the ground. He's going to look for a lead. The lead's Lowy, but Turley intercepts that. The ball spills. Comes to Irving. Being put off by Coghlan. Coghlan works, but the numbers are Eagles, and the spinning eagle is Pike. The hand pass is excellent as he goes to Waterman. Waterman is foolish as he thumps. Goes back to Coghlan. Coghlan sets it up high. Here's a Lockett. Lockyer battle, but sliding across the face is Jakovic. Lockett does it well. Left boot, right shoulder, misses. FAI Insurance scoreboard. Eagles 2010, St Kilda 11-7.
Well, still without going down without a fight, St Kilda, you've got to give them full marks from there. From that, they're trailing by, let's see, 57 points, but they're not giving up one little bit. No. And I noticed that Pike copped one as he came out of a pack on that occasion, and we're waiting on the ball to come back into play now from the boot of Lockyer. 18-minute mark in this quarter. Crowd haven't moved. 43,000 plus as Lockyer goes short as he looks for the leader, Brennan, who has not put a foot wrong all day. Brennan looking downfield. He's going short now to look for Dwayne Lamb. He's going to be taken on by a player there in Rice, who gave him a bit of a nudge in the back. Lamb thought it was his kick, but Rice says, no, I'm going to bring it down forward. Lockett tries to get away from Lockyer. They're going to set. Oh, Lockett, beautiful. Oh, gee, judged the flight of the ball well. And for a big fella of 15 and a half stone, he got high into the air on that.
He lifted.
Real lift. Yeah. But it's a strange thing, you know, when you look at Lockyer, Lockyer's sort of got Lockett covered, and the moment Lockett moves, he takes his eyes off the ball and watches where he's going.
Summed it up right. It's there. He certainly watches the ball.
Oh, well, I see the sandwiches arrived. That's a bit late since half-time. They better put them down there before all the Wolves get in touch with them, Percy. Is Lockett now going for his 7th major? Well, he's been an effective spearhead today. If he kicks this, he will have kicked his 7th goal out of 11 at St Kilda. And you couldn't have a better performance than that. And she goes straight through them in the middle from the boot of Tony Lockett to move St Kilda to 12 goals 7, trailing the Eagles 20 goals 10. You know, that's a very good performance for a centre full forward, Marty.
It is, 7. He's contributed well too. He's trying to look for players around him, to the smaller players, and they haven't been around him very often. And he's done a very good job, and he's fighting to the finish. And so are St Kilda. I reckon they're putting an enormous effort.
They played their game out well, and instead of giving him the hurrah, they should be giving him a standing ovation, because he is certainly an athlete of great ability, Tony Lockett, and he has not done anything untoward in this game at all, except go for the football on all occasions, and he's done that extremely well.
That's all he's got to do, Percy.
Yeah, and it's good to see it's marvellous to see people like himself and Ablett playing the game, and he is a genius anyway. Harding and Irving have a dead heat. The ball spills, working as Dwayne Lamb, and doesn't he work? He always does, but the ball comes down very quickly through the agency of Rice to Nicky Winmar. Nicky Winmar's gone to Lockett. He's juggled it once, twice. Pike, you've done it well, is intercepted. Draws with a hand pass, goes out in the direction of Waterman, being backed up by Scotty Waters. A spinning Scotty Waters comes out of a lot of trouble, and he's casual enough to bounce, and then penetrates long down towards his own centre wing. An opportunity for Burke to run in. He's backed up by Paul Harding. He goes with a hand pass to Frawley. The ball comes back to Burke again. The numbers are St Kilda's way, but Peter Wilson puts his man off the ball and allows the ball to spill to Hart, who goes to the overlap of Turley. Here's the lead from Hetty, right half forward, and Hetty's eyes never off the ball, and good firm hands. Marks the ball out deep at right half forward. He'll kick from 50. A kick from a 65-degree angle. And that's a very difficult assignment to kick from there. Where's Peter Sumich? Has he gone back to the square? He's gone back, but he hasn't seemingly, to me, gone back deep enough. I think the ball will carry a bit beyond him there. Lewis is in there, opposed to Davenport. I think he's looking for a lead. He'd love to give Sumich another goal.
I reckon he could nearly kick it first.
Well, we'll see what he's got. 7, Frank, has he?
Yep.
That's what my book says anyway, and we wait on this one as he kicks from exactly 50. Well, you're wrong. He hasn't kicked it. He's missed it by a metre, but he kicked the distance. So on the FAI Insurance scoreboard, the Eagles are 20 goals 11. St Kilda at 12-7. You talk, I'll have a sandwich, Frank.
Righto, well, we've been playing 21 minutes in this quarter, as I'll pass them along to you, Percy, and we wait now for the ball to come back into play, and it's going to be brought back into play by Russell Morris. Worked very hard in defence today for St Kilda, and this is a beautiful kick out towards the right half-back flank. Well, up they go, and Harding, crikey, he works. No, it's Frawley who takes the mark, gives a hand pass to McAdam. McAdam fires it out wide over towards Davenport, who's been useless today, but he's backed up again by McAdam. They get it down very quickly out over towards Craven. Under pressure, gets in a short kick in towards centre-half forward looking for Lowe. He draws Jakovic. They get it down towards Kitski. Kitski comes inward to hand pass over to Coghlan. Spins onto the right boot. Kicks it high. One out duel. Lockett and Lockyer. And Lockyer outstrengths Lockett on this occasion and takes the mark. Very cool under pressure. Lockyer tries to give it to Kemp. He slips over. Wilson gains possession. Tries to dummy around. Does. Dummies again. Goes onto the right boot and puts it through for a 6-pointer to St Kilda. So, bit of misfortune there for the Eagles, but St Kilda sticking to their guns have kicked another major. They move on the FAI insurance scoreboard to 13 goals 7, trailing the Eagles 20 goals 11, and your football coming to you through 6PR and 3AW.
Hungry Brian Wilson. He was not going to give that ball away to anyone. He ducked and dived around. He's lucky he got away with it. At least he got the goal on the board. But he's noted for that, looking for the goals, and it's infectious as far as he's concerned. But he hasn't contributed much today.
Well, he could have given a hand pass to Lockett, actually, who was away from his man on that occasion, but I think Lockett wasn't even interested because he knew it wasn't going to happen. Anyway, Harding into there, beautiful tap again. But gee, Scotty Waters is reading that interception well. Plays out towards right half forward to the fresh man on the ground, Hart, and he's too quick for Burke on that occasion. He's still 90 metres out of goals. He's got towards right half forward. They're stopping the play a little bit. There's not a lot of run through their half forward line now. I see Langdon dropping back, so Hart's decide to go for the big kick. Eddie's in there also, but he slipped at the wrong time. The ball's been thumped away by the St Kilda defender, Danny Frawley, who's been exemplary in defence today. They've had key players at either end of the ground, believe me. Frawley's done a superb job at fullback, and Lockett, of course, at the other end of the ground. They're on the 50-metre line, right half forward. The Eagles Harding into the air, wins the tap down to Burke. Burke's kicked it over his head virtually straight up in the air. Scotty Waters can run back with a flight of the ball and takes a good accomplished mark just backward to right half forward.
Actually, he's played well since he came on the ground and played on Craven.
He keeps telling me Mick Moldau's a bad judge. He should be in the side all the time, and he's proving that he is right on this occasion. She's gone into Lewis. The ball spills. Can Eddie pinch it? No, he can't. Eddie's recovery is good. Goes to Peter Wilson. Peter Wilson should go over the top on this occasion to Turley. The ball bounces unkindly, allows Davenport to come in. The draws on to McAdam, who's worked deep in his defence from the right centre wing. He's deep in the right back pocket. He's bounced the ball once. He's now bounced the ball twice. He's worked it well up towards the right centre wing where he normally plays. There's still nothing on offer. Guy McKenna's the only player in there. He mishandles the ball. Goes back very quickly from Coghlan. Goes to Harvey. Harvey comes over the top to where he goes to Kitschke. Kitschke down towards right half forward. Wilson and Pike mix up. Wilson manhandles Pike. Play on, says the umpire. He manhandles him again, but Pike persists. In goes Wilson. It comes to Lockett. Lockett's got 8, and that's a dramatic performance and a great performance by Lockett. And St Kilda persist and continue to fight on the FAI insurance scoreboard. The Eagles are 20-11. St Kilda are 14-7.
The irony of the thing there was Wilson using the body against his opponent, and Lockett standing out waiting for the crumbs to come out, which he did. Should he reverse the situation? He didn't have to use his strength at all. Well, he was quick.
I reckon there were four free kicks in that, weren't there, Frank?
Yeah, but I reckon you've got to give full marks to St Kilda because they've fought back. They've come back strongly against the Eagles, and I mean they've kicked 5 goals in this quarter. The Eagles have kicked 3, but still, nevertheless, they're not giving up and they're persisting, and that's the hallmark of a good side. As Harding, who's worked extremely hard at the centre, bounce downs, knocks down over towards Lowe, who's been quiet. He goes into an open space, out charges Lockett. Awkward bounce. In comes Lockett, gets it over to Coghlan. Onto the left boot he goes, and he unfortunately hits the post. But there was unselfish football from Lockett on that occasion because he came round, possibly could have got it onto the left boot, but decided to give it to the penetration of Coghlan.
He's a team man at ball ends, isn't he?
Yep, certainly is. So Brennan brings the ball into play and goes out wide towards the left half-back flank on the other side of the ground where Lockyer is marked. We've come to the 25.5-minute mark in this quarter of football. Let's see, there's been about 8 goals kicked. As into they go inboard towards centre half-back to find McKenna, who decides to play on. Dummies around Lockett. Was lucky to get away from him, but he saw the lead. Good vision there to Dwayne Lamb. He's backed up by Kemp. They go downfield to Mainwaring. Kemp backs up again to take the hand pass. In towards full forward they are, up the half forward flank, and Hetty comes out in front of his marksman to take the mark. Been a good play today for these Eagles.
Selfish, this fella.
Yep. Oh, strike. He gives it to Sumich and he spills the mark. Sumich. The ball over Sumich. It's come to the ground. Davenport and Lewis battle for possession. And Sumich has had a bit of a horror day today because that was a sitter given to him there by Heady, and he spilt the mark.
He can do that, but Frank, 2 or 3 weeks ago against the Sydney Swans, he did the same thing.
Yep, so the ball into play. Harding does the worked tirelessly on the ball since the quarter-time break. Over towards Davenport. They try to get the ball further downfield. It's been picked up by Heady, who brings it back in towards full forward. Up go the pack. No mark is taken. Brought away very quickly by Cummings. It's an awkward bounce very quickly over the head of Rice. They go in towards centre-half forward, and the mark has been taken quickly now by Scott Waters.
42,209 people saw the game, Frank.
42,209. So, there's bad football on the part of McAdam then, because he'd left Mainwaring loose, and Mainwaring just drifted into centre-half forward. Waters passed the ball in that direction. The man on his mark is Craven, with Mainwaring coming in to kick. Well, got a bit close to the man on the mark. The ball is going to drop short. The tackle set. Eyes on the ball all the time was a player there, and Harvey's taken the mark.
He's played all right as the game's gone on, this fella.
Certainly has. Well, he goes short now because nobody came in to bottle up Craven. The short pass went that way, but the little rover was forced to go onto his left boot. He goes towards the left centre wing. In goes Lamb, taken on by Winmar. Umpire says interference, and Lamb will take the free kick. Well, I didn't think so.
The ball out of his hand.
Yeah, so what we do now, he goes short. Here's Scott Waters again. See, Craven's got cramped now, not watching Waters. Waters drives right up towards full forward. They set, and here's a man in defence again, Harvey, taking yet another good mark. So, we'll see what he will do. Worked hard. No, it was Paul Harding.
He's done a great job.
Well, he's worked hard, Harding, since they came on the ground. Gee, they'd never want to start a game of football without him being as their knock-ruck man for a start. As they go up towards this right half-back flank on the outer side, the ball rolling free goes to Morris, draws a player. The hand pass on very quickly over towards a player here in Kitchke, goes onto the left boot and drives the ball up towards Lowe, who leads out in front of Djakovic, who knocks away from him again. But the ball goes the way of McAdam, who's really had taken the honours away from Mainwaring in this last half. They get it to the penetration of Coughlin. One out duel, Lockyer and Lockett. The ball knocked away by Lockyer. Down comes Wilson again. Survives one tackle. Nearly trips over. Has given the ball with a hand pass over towards McAdam. He's going to come inboard. Lockyer's going to go short. They give the hand pass to Coughlin. Down it comes over towards Wilson. He'll go towards an open goal as he steadies. Kicks towards the tall timbers and misses. So, 20 goals 11 on the FAI insurance scoreboard to the Eagles. St Kilda moved to 14 goals 9, and we've been playing 28 and a half minutes in this last quarter of play.
Well, Djakovic is going to bring the ball back, and too casually can bring it out towards right back pocket to where he finds Kemp. Kemp can bounce because there's yardage to spare here, and he looks for the leader, Langdon, who's well down from centre forward and is marked really backward to the right centre wing for the Eagles. Plays on typically with that deep driving left foot in the Heady direction. Why not? Pekin does battle on this occasion. Thumps to ground, but Turley read it off the hands brilliantly. He's bounced the ball twice. Great support from Hart. Hart's bounced the ball again. He's gone into the right forward pocket. He's bounced the ball 3 times. He's going to draw. He's going to go to Lewis. And Lewis from 1 inch has kicked another goal for the Eagles. Great drawing football by the Eagles on the FAI insurance scoreboard. They're 21-11. St Kilda 14-9.
You've got to talk with your mouth full, Marty.
Well, I was following the sandwich. You must compliment Turley once again with his dash down the ground. Beautiful. He's a good player, Turley. He's the most improved player, isn't he, Frank?
But I think the thing about it also was that the way Hart complimented him, they just kept going till Turley was able to draw and hand pass over, and Hart finished it off with a good hand pass to Lewis.
Well controlled, Hart too, and he's bouncing to the goals.
But the one thing about the Eagles today, I think, is that Sumich is, he's kicked 2 goals, and they were given to him on a plate, but they've had players around them in the forward line that have been able to capitalise and caused a real big problem to the St Kilda defence. So we wait on the bounce now to take place now as Irving's going to set against Harding. Harding taps again, taken away very quickly by Rice, who drives up towards full forward. Brennan sets over the top of Kitchke and couldn't mark. The ball comes to the ground. Kitchke's, nearly threw it out. Umpire says, yes, he agrees with me, and the free kick will go the way of Waterman. Well, Waterman looking downfield for Leeds now, so they decide to come across field as Djakovic compliments him. Djakovic goes onto the right boot, kicks up towards the right centre wing, where a mark has been taken by Kemp, even with pace, comes out onto the left boot up towards centre half forward. Chance for Turley. Ball won't bounce well, but he gains possession now. Fires a hand pass. The ball is knocked away very quickly now by Grant under pressure. Gets it down to Newport. He's put under pressure. In goes Cummings. He's still under a lot of pressure. The Eagles tackle very desperately. They get the ball quickly out over towards Langdon, but Frawley's in the way. Gives it to McAdam. Taken on by Mainwaring. Back to Frawley she goes. There goes the siren, and 42,000 people give a real big cheer as the Eagles have won a very, very important match today, defeating St Kilda 21 goals 11, 137 points to St Kilda 14 goals 9, 93. Last quarter of football here at Subiaco Oval came your way with 6 PR and 3 AW.
Tom Selleck,
Thompson and Frank Sparrow.
14 goals, 9.93, and that means a 44-point advantage to the West Coast Eagles. Now, before I give you the goal scorers, I'll just tell you what the scores were at the half-time break. It was 12-7 to 5-2. And in the last quarter, the Eagles kicked 9 goals and St Kilda kicked 7. That shows you what a real tight last half of football was played between these two sides. Now, the goal scorers for the West Coast Eagles, Brett Heady in grand form, kicked 7. Ashley McIntosh 3. 2 each to Matera, Lewis, Langdon, Turley and Sumich, and 1 goal to Scott Waters. And for St Kilda, Tony Lockett kicked 7. 8, I should say. Lockett kicked 8, 2 to Craven, and 1 each to Coughlin and Brian Wilson. Well, Percy, 44 points was the difference. St Kilda never gave up, but there was some champagne football played, particularly by the Eagles, and the crowd really got their money's worth today.
Well, it's scintillating. The game was made and broken in the first quarter, Frank.
Yep.
That's when it all happened, and that was because of the tactics, I believe. Well, first of all, it was because of the fact that I think St Kilda started with the wrong man in the bounce downs, in as much as they had Kitschke there instead of Paul Harding. And I do think that the oncoming of Paul Harding evened the game out considerably, because they started to shear out of the middle of the ground a little bit better. But with the Eagles winning the ball out of the centre and Mainwaring in devastating form on the centre wing, the ball and the Eagles started with Sumich just in the square alone, and pacey people like Matera and Brett Heady sitting up, and McIntosh also, who was a very good player, sitting up, tied up at half forward, and they're kicking the ball to space, and Heady and Peter Matera early looked like he was going to cut them to pieces, but it was Heady that actually cut them to pieces. He read the ball off the boot, they placed the ball to him brilliantly, and he kicked the 5 goals in that first quarter that caught Peake and just didn't have an answer to him. Once they restructured and they got Burke back into defence, Rice back into defence, and they got their balance organised in defence, they got McAdam onto a wing in the second half, and I thought his second half was a highlight of the game to me, this fellow. I thought that he played brilliantly, and he pulled Mainwaring right back to base 1, and definitely had the call over Mainwaring in the latter half of the game. Once they got that balance right with Paul Harding in the centre and Harvey working fairly solidly in that area, although he ran out of steam on the very last part, with the defence well structured. Morris, I thought, played well all day, particularly well early when he was at centre half back and was a key defender at centre back. He got caught out of play a little bit when they decided they were going to play him on McIntosh to match up height, as a result of which he got out in the half back flank, and they had Jeffrey at centre half back on Langdon, and that was a key move in the third quarter, because Langdon was able to shake Jeffrey a little bit, so Langdon kept the Eagles sort of just that 6 or 5 or 6 goals clear all the time. But generally I thought that St Kilda performance in the second half, Marty, I think you'd agree with that, was extremely good. The performances at both ends of the ground of Danny Frawley, who virtually shut Peter Sumich out. Sumich got 2 grouter kicks when they drew and popped over the top to him standing on the line. I thought Frawley was magnificent as a defender, and I thought Tony Lockett at the other end of the ground gave another superb full forward performance.
Yeah, I agree with you, but you've got to compliment the vanquished on this occasion, because you just suggested they fought hard right throughout, and they never gave in once. It was never going to be a real walkover, although the Eagles, with their sheer speed, looked the dominant side. Makes you feel that Sheldon erred on 2 things. I don't like rubbishing coaches, but I think the fact that Harding didn't open up on the centre bounce downs, because not only the bounce downs, he generalised his play around the ground, and the fact that he kept peaking on Heady when he already had 5 on the board. He should have moved him after the second goal. He failed to do that, but you can't take anything away from the speed, the sheer speed, and the quick ball handling of the Eagles.
But there were some highlights from a St Kilda point of view. And I mean, it's easy to eulogise. Turley's game, for instance, was absolutely persistently magnificent. You know, he never stopped making play by sheer persistent run and good use of the ball. But, you know, Nicky Winmar played a great game.
Brilliant game.
Nicky Winmar has to come up high in their best player ratings when you consider that he was a key player and a top player through the whole 4 quarters of the game. You know, in the first half when they were losing, Nicky Winmar was still a winner. You know,
he'd be 5 on the ground, I reckon, best on the ground. I think.
Yeah, he played very well, and you know, their performance was extremely good. You can understand why they're a high-rated football side. You know, because Craven, for instance, under heavy checking from Dwayne Lamb, and Dwayne Lamb was a key player again for the Eagles. But I thought Craven
took him, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he took him at times. He ran off him at times.
They finished up taking Lamb off him and putting Waters on him.
Yeah, well, but then by the same token, Waters didn't really play on him. Waters said, "I want to cement my place in the side." He started to get kicks of his own, and he did that pretty well, Frank. I thought Waters' performance. What about Jakovic at centre back, Marty? How did you rate that?
Wonderful performance. The kid coming against Lowy. I've seen Lowy. We've all seen Mark better than that, but Jakovic persisted with his punch-aways, and his groundwork was good, and his handball was brilliant.
I'd like to know how many marks actually Lowe actually took. Dave, well, you might be able to find that out.
More than about half a dozen at the
moment. Yeah, and he averages 14 a game, I think.
But you couldn't come right back to that because they weren't getting the ball to him, were they, really? No, they're under enormous pressure.
Yeah, but St Kilda don't always get the ball to him. They've had games when they've lost badly before, but he has averaged 14 marks a game.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he had marking chances, and Jakovic punched.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The ball came down on a lot of occasions where it was a duel between Lowe and Jakovic, and it was Jakovic who did knock the ball away. And when the ball came to the ground, I thought that he showed very good intelligence and good use of the ball, even when he got the ball off the ground, Jakovic. So I thought he played a real good game. If you talk about the better players for both sides, like as far as I'm concerned, I reckon Brett Heady, well, he kicked 5 of his 7 goals in the first quarter. He kicked 2 of them in the third quarter, but gee, he handed a lot off, and he played a real strong game from a half-forward flank. And of course, Craig Turley, well, I called him the link man throughout the course of the game, was quite in some patches after half-time, but was always there when things were a little bit dangerous as far as the Eagles were concerned, and continually forcing the ball forward. I thought other fella to play well was Jakovic at centre half back. I don't think he put a foot wrong all day. Michael Brennan on a half back flank deserves full credit for the way he played, because he completely